teams, please make sure you're in LCS order before we start. That is top, jungle, mid, bot, up. Okay. It looks like Mabaloxy is their AD carry based on how they have this, but they also see Killjoy currently in mid lane position.
And Holmo should be their AD carry.
Holmo is their AD carry. They're not in order yet, is what's happening. Kanye 2048. Something tells me that's a Kane player. Obviously. Cool. Let me go ahead and go to...
You would be incorrect.
Oh.
That is also a general support player.
Is this a team with 3 supports? Is that what's going on here?
I have no idea.
Look. It happens. Everything will be fine.
So I work at Amazon. I'm actually part of the Ops Tech IT team, which is just like operations IT. Aside from that, I just pretty much game. I'm at home with my fiance and 4 cats, and taking care of our newborn son.
We are here today for the Corporate Esports Association Overwatch 2020 Spring Playoffs. It is going to be a spectacular day.
After most of it only does get one as the Blizzard comes out on the backside. T also going to find the Deadeye onto Specs on the high ground. Google has to press on the pedal to try and touch this point. And they're not! Oh, it comes up short. Amazon Fire Force will be able to take Volskaya Industries.
CEA to me is like an organization that pulls together a lot of these like top companies around the world. I think it's like a great team building function, and then also it's for a great cause. It's for charity.
And since two members showed up in the top lane, they're immediately going to go for the dive in the mid lane with the damage on the Pandoria. Going to be able to pick up the kill twice over for Apocalypse. Everyone else is going to be running for the hills. Nobody wants to be able to join in this fight. With the minions there, the Baron's still on everybody. This is going to be the grand finals for Team Amazon Stock Dip. They've got the money, $5,000 for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. They have secured it for themselves with a 3-0 victory.
Yeah, so like losing to Adobe was like pretty heartbreaking. I got like the second place trophy in the mail. I'll see it like every day. I'm like, it's like a reminder, like you have to do better. You always have to like somebody out there is better than you. Like you should always try to be the best. But like we're definitely gonna come back way stronger, way better. We don't want to drop another game during the season. We definitely don't want to lose in grand finals.
Adobe Illustrators taking this next map.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Corporate Esports Association Week 1 League of Legends matchup between the Facebook Clickbaiters and the Intel Pentium Kills. My name is PhiNick, joined on the desk today by the lovely Thousand Eyes. How are we doing going into this Week 1 matchup?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited to get into what should be a great season here. Very excited also just to be a part of this whole organization as well.
Yeah, lots of good things coming your way on CEA. Of course, both these teams playing for charities, as it were. Intel Pentium Kills working with United Way, which is a nonprofit organization that focuses on improving communities. They specialize in services around the areas of education, income, and health within neighborhoods, and they operate in over 40 countries, 6 continents, and is one of the largest nonprofits in terms of public donations received. Intel has worked with United Way before, and due to being a partnered charity, they are continuing that transition as we continue talking about the Intel team here and a little bit more. They are, of course, one of the premier semiconductor companies in the world, making such processors as the KB Lake, Coffee Lake, Skylake series, all the great stuff at the moment. i9s, everything. Yeah, Intel. They are on the blue side for game number 1 this match.
Yeah, and getting excited too because there's a lot of interesting picks that could come out here. I've actually seen a little bit of so Sway specifically has a lot of top lane tanks, but one that actually interested me was the AP Nautilus here coming through a little bit. So I'd be surprised if we saw that, but I'd be very excited if we saw that as well.
Yeah, and lots of different picks potentially from this team. If we take a look or have been taken a look at the team, their 2 highest rated players are TensorFlow, who will be their mid laner, and their support in Rasta, Dread, and A. That said, TensorFlow has a very interesting champion pool, has played a lot of Yasuo, has played a lot of Yone, but also the Orianna and Azir, so lots of late game scaling from this player in particular.
Yeah, a lot of late game scaling that also can make good use of pressure from jungle attention. So there's a lot of aggression that can come out, especially just being, a fairly high ranked player in comparison to a lot of other people. So that's one to keep out for. Roster Dread, on the other hand, really interests me because there's a lot of engaged supports, but very little aftershock on those engaged supports. So a lot of Guardian on champions that you don't usually see Guardian on, like the Nautilus or the Leona. So a bit of a different choice that you don't usually see from those champions.
Yeah, and obviously paying attention to runes, paying attention to builds. Their jungler as well has been playing quite a bit in the way of tank junglers, has played some Hecarim as well for the early aggression. Been playing a lot of tank Nunu recently, so I'll be interested to see if Omar Little decides to go for that particular build here. That said, talking about the team on the red side of the rift, it will be the Facebook Clickbaiters, which is a team made up of several people within different divisions of Facebook, including the security division, Oculus, and Instagram. So VR League of Legends when? That's all I'm asking from you. Make it happen. Gotta happen. They are supporting Doctors Without Borders, one of the largest medical charities in the world. They work in countries to help with endemic diseases and dealing with that, as well as doing projects in areas of conflict and making sure people get their medical attention despite the hardships that they may encounter based on their places of living. Of course, that charity's been around the gaming scene for quite a while, supported by Summer Games Done Quick and other various events as well. So it's always good to see MSF being represented here in the Corporate Esports Association. That said, players to look out for here: Top Notch, Knock Top, and Whole Mole 1. Let's talk a little bit about these players.
Yeah, so obviously Top Notch is a Nocturne top player ideally. So that is something that we're probably going to be seeing banned away. They've specifically said that if he does get that, like, he's going to be a threat. So that's one that we're going to see banned away. Also, just I'm sorry, who was the other person that we were talking about specifically?
Whole Mole 1, they're 80 carry.
Whole Mole 1, yeah, 80 carry, known for being the carry on that team specifically. Lots of different 80 carries that can come out through him as well. Just a lot of Callista has been seen, and a lot of Senna as well. So it'll be interesting to see if they ban the Senna or if they think that's one that they can let through. Just looking at the history, a lot of very big pop-off games, and that is the kind of person of interest for the Facebook team.
Yeah, and speaking of 80 carries, we don't see a lot of Caitlyn or Ashe for either of these 80 carries, so maybe we're not going to see the Caitlyn Ashe handshake this series. Do you got an over-under on that one?
Oh, I don't think it is likely to happen just because of especially the lack of Caitlyn, very little Ashe. So even if they do give the Caitlyn over, probably not gonna opt into the Ashe comparison there. Might see something like a Jhin. But yeah, it really seems like it's just the kind of like really early game trade focused 80 carries that Homo really wants to focus on.
Yeah, and speaking of Whole Mole and I guess the Facebook team, it is worth noting that they have a mixture of new players to CEA and players who have been around for years. And this particular team, or I should say Facebook in general, has been participating in CEA since its inaugural season. So definitely people are familiar with this 5v5 competitive format and how it works in the Corporate Esports Association. Meanwhile, the Intel team, mostly new players to CEA. However, their jungler competed in 2014 in the StarCraft 2 league here, so that is always something nice to see, people who are good at two different games. Speaking of that jungler for the side of the Intel, Pentium kills, I love that name, I love puns. Omar Little, maybe we can talk a little bit about his champion pool outside of, we talked about the Nunu, but anything else pop out at you?
Yeah, so the Hecarim obviously coming through as well, and interestingly enough, does not take flash on it. Goes for the ignite instead. Just heavy early game focus. The Zac also has come through a little bit, but that has not seen a whole lot of success from what I've seen. But yeah, it is very much the Hecarim and the Nunu, just a lot of early game gank pressure and a lot of, objective control through that. So that's really what I'm looking for from Omar Little, just a lot of aggression to get these lanes ahead.
Yeah, and the jungle matchup, always something to look out for, even if we don't think, or even if their champion pools don't necessarily show anything insane. Kanye 2048 will be the jungler for Facebook here. We don't have a lot of info on them in previous games. Seems to be a support main. However, has played
There's a Mundo.
There's a Mundo. There's
and
a Mundo. And a Shyvana. Are we going to see Shyvana? AP Shyvana, please?
AP Shyvana? Wizard Lizard?
Oh, man. I love AP Shyvana. Teams are just now getting ready for drafts that will start in a couple seconds here, or just in a moment as it were. We have Intel readied up. Still waiting on Facebook, and we are now into the draft, as you can see. I'm excited to see what bans are going to go everyone's way. I feel like Nocturne should be banned away here first from the side of Intel, and of course it is the Nocturne.
When you have it in your summoner name, it's a little hard to just be like, maybe we should let that open.
Nah, it's fine. Totally don't play Nocturne top. I think this is definitely a bit of a champion Ocean, though, from him. He plays a lot of Volibear and Mordekaiser recently, but we also see some Kled, we also see some Kayle, some Renekton, some Camille. So varying levels of scaling and early game aggression from that top lane, as we see the Kled being banned away as well. The Yasuo being banned away from TensorFlow, something that I think is to be expected, might be a Yone and Orianna ban to continue that one, unless they want to keep something away from Rasta Dread, perhaps the Nautilus on the second ban here.
Yeah, the Yasuo is definitely the biggest one to take away from Tensor, but definitely could see a lot more focus coming through there. The Kled obviously putting a lot of focus on top notch there. Is actually a missed ban there. Seems to be a little bit of back and forth and not sure what they want to take away, so just take away nothing.
And the Senna being the final ban here, I like this quite a bit from the Intel squad. Definitely one you got to take away from the Holmul 1. That is his most played champion recently, so take it out of the way. Doesn't even play Fasting Senna too, it's the straight 80 carry Senna, so be very interested in that one. Will be the Thresh ban going towards Rasta Dread NA. Interesting to not see the Nautilus ban. I think that one is the more played hook support from Rasta Dread as we get into the first pick of the match.
Yeah, the Yone is available here, so I have to think that Yone is going to come through, but it's actually the first pick Nunu, it seems like. So gonna try and get that Nunu in there before it could get taken away. Tensor obviously has multiple options there and probably want to try and hold out to see what the matchup would be. So I don't mind the Nunu coming through here. I'm curious actually if the bottom lanes are gonna come through here, just with how strong that mid laner is in TensorFlow. The Volibear coming through here is a flex pick, could be going top or jungle, but generally with how the meta's been lately, has been more favored in the jungle.
That's a top-notch Noctop, does play a lot of Volibear, and it looks like with this Amumu hover, it will be the Volibear top lane, if Kanye 24/8 does lock that in. So they have lots of teamfight already, and quite a bit of a beefy front line. Still lacking in the damage department, but this is just the first two picks of the draft. Omar Little 2-pick. I expect the bot lane to be picked up by the side of the Intel.
Yeah,
yeah.
This is
Wukong?
one of the few non-tank supports we've seen Sway on. So opting into that matchup in the top side, I don't mind this entirely because you know what the top lane matchup is specifically. The Amumu is one that we have seen Kanye in solo queue, but very, very infrequently. And actually, the Azir coming out now from a TensorFlow, wanting to get that before more bans are going to come through. And that's not one of the main ones we've seen on TensorFlow, but it is one that he has a little bit of practice on.
Yeah, but the counterpick Xerath makes that lane matchup a little bit more difficult, I would say.
And I'm surprised actually to kind of see if you're going to blind pick it taking the Azir when Maywalaxy is like, that is one of the most played mid champions for him in that Xerath. So really kind of just putting yourself in on that counter pick there and kind of have to expect that coming through.
Ardban coming out for Rasa Dread NA, not something I would expect against him. I feel like you want to ban more engage heavy supports than the enchanters. With the Caitlyn being banned away from Whole Mole 1, they definitely are looking to make the bot lane more favorable for them. However, I think the other ban that they're going to have to throw this way is going to be the Kaisa, as that's kind of the third pick priority, or the Callista from Whole Mole 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's kind of a weird ban against Homo specifically because, like we mentioned, does not have any Caitlyn games recently. So it's kind of weird that you're banning the Caitlyn. If you are gonna ban one of the like top tier 80 carries that it isn't the Senna that's already banned, the Ashe is still something that we have technically seen Homo take. But yeah, the Callista and the Jhin, those are the two big ones that Homo really pulls out.
Yeah, I'm expecting this Callista here from Homo 1. They're going to save the counterpick for the last overall. Morgana being picked up by Sugojoy here does tell me that they do want to play a little bit more aggressive in that lane, especially because now you can't really pick Nautilus into it or else you just lose. You can still pick Leona into Morgana, although it's a little bit less nice. Kurstaz on the Xayah, one of his most picked AD carries, so no surprises there. I'm interested to see what Rasta Dread NA decides to pick here, though.
Yeah, Rasta Dread known for these engaged supports, but with the Morgana coming through, that really disincentivizes you from playing those. You'd have to, I mean, Rakan is available. You could just take the Rakan there, but it's actually going to be the Karma. And interesting note to actually point out here, Rasta Dread, when playing Enchanters, takes the Phase Rush over anything else. So it's not going to be Airy, it's not going to be Comet. It is going to be the Phase Rush on this Karma here, trying to get the extra move speed, and I would think try to become some kind of a secondary like carry, be more aggressive and just poke people out and get a bunch of damage down.
Yeah, Karma, of course, in solo lanes falls off relatively quickly, but in support, I think definitely can help you in the late game, especially when you have the Azir. Enables a lot of what Azir wants to do into the backline dives, and the Wukong as well. As we take a look at the Facebook squad, though, interesting to see the Ashe being picked up into the Xayah. I'm not exactly sure how that matchup goes, but I want to say it's Xayah favored in lane, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's more of a skill matchup than anything. Just how well can Xayah play with the feathers and how well can Ashe get the poke down early on. It's definitely going to play a lot more into these supports, I think. Like, is the Morgana going to be able to get these binding downs, or is Karma going to get the poke down? So without any kind of healing in that lane, the early game Karma damage is what is to be feared in that bottom lane there. I'm actually really interested too, just because of how much engage there is from this Volibear and Amumu and how much like team fight setup there is. But these carries really just like to stay far back and out of the fight. So there's this weird kind of not like mishmash of like, we want to, our tanks want to go real hard in and be this like big beefy ball that just jumps at you, and Xerath and Ashe want to stay really far back and kind of not get super into the fight.
Yeah, and I'm concerned about the front to back here as well, especially when you're up against an Azir and Wukong, both of whom are very good at diving the back line. Obviously, Wukong falls off a bit late game, but Azir will scale probably the hardest out of any champion in the game, except maybe a Muvu in terms of tanks, but like Azir will get Leandry, so percent health damage will deal with that. That said, like I generally favor the comp from Intel Pentium kill just in terms of 5v5 team fights. However, I think there's a strong case to be made about the pick potential from the Facebook Clickbaiter composition.
Yeah, there's a lot of, Wukong is a diveable champion. Volibear and Amumu, really good at locking people down under tower. The Volibear obviously just made to dive champions under tower. The Xerath obviously does have the lane matchup favorability in there. So if Mewaloxy can really just play into this matchup and poke this Azir out, that can really kind of like warp how we go into this mid game there. I'm also just kind of curious where these junglers are going to focus, because Xerath is kind of hard to gank. Nunu can get through with it, but like the stun is going to be fairly easy to hit for Xerath. The bot lane also very hard to gank because Ashe is pretty ranged and Morgana is self-sufficient in getting out of ganks. The Volibear is probably the only consistent gank you're going to be able to get there, and Amumu can gank fairly early with the bandage toss, but really wants to get that level 6 down to just really lock people down in a gank.
Yeah, there's just not a lot of early game, I think, from Facebook Clickbaiters, but at the same time, like, they're not easy lanes to gank, as you already said. Especially this Ashe Morgana lane, it's like, Nunu has to deal with the, slow threat from the Ashe, as well as just the ease of binding a slowed down target, even with the biggest snowball ever, increasing speed. We'll see how they decide to play that one, as we are loading into the game right now. We can take a look at runes momentarily. And it is the summon area on Karma, so not going for the phase rush as you expected. I like this quite a bit. I think Aerie is such a good rune.
Yeah, I think Aerie is the superior rune there. It is completely different from what we have seen in all kinds of game data that we have for Rasa Dread. Actually, really interesting to see the phase rush on the Nunu instead. I'm kind of curious if that is going to be a little bit more of a damage Nunu then, instead of just the tank that we've seen as well from Omar Little.
He's played phase rush tank Nunu in solo queue, so it's probably still going to be the tank from him, but we'll see how he uses that rune in fights. On the blue side, of course, it is the Intel Pentium kill. Sway in the top lane, Omar Little in the jungle, TensorFlow in the mid lane, Kurt Zors in AD carry position, and Rasta Dread in support.
And on the red side, we have the Facebook Clickbaiters, Top Notch Knock Top in the top lane, Kanye 2048 in the jungle, Maywalaxy in the mid lane, and Holmo1 and Sugoi in the bottom lane and support.
Sugoi Joy. That's like a fun name to say.
It really is.
It's good joy. That's what it is. I'm not a weeb. Nope, not at all.
This is incredibly false. One week in and you're already lying to viewers.
Look, I have to keep some semblance of normalcy on the cast. Maybe not. We'll see. Both junglers starting towards the bottom side of the map here. We see Omar Little on the red buff start. Should be buff Grump for him. Kanye 2048 has the option to go buff Wolves buff instead of buff Grump buff. We'll see if he decides to do that, or maybe going to go buff full clear. Will be the buff Wolf buff from the Amumu, as the Nunu actually opts for the Raptors' second camp here.
Yeah, the snowball can help with that, but is a little bit of a harder camp for Nunu. Just not a whole lot of AoE there, as opposed to somebody like the Amumu, who is just loves AoE camps, wants to do as many as possible.
Yeah, still both junglers on the double camp, and it's actually going to be Wolves and Raptors reversed around, so no one going for the quick level 3 here. Cursed though, going to flash up the level 2 from Sugoi and Holmo 1. Have to be very respectful of that, even as the Karma, Mantra W not up yet as he took Q, and Rasa Dread very low here. Has to be careful. Summoner Heal is available for Cursed if needed, but there are no pots remaining.
Yeah, and this is the scary point of this lane, really. Just whoever gets the aggression first is generally going to take the lead in the lane, just because of how much Morgana and Ashe can sit on the side of the wave there and just poke them out while freezing the lane. Both lanes do not have any type of sustain, really. Even inside their rooms, there's not a whole lot, so it is just poke city, and just whoever controls that lane is going to just completely run over the other team.
There's a standard Mantra W, but not significant, as it were, I will say.
Not how you want to use the mantra in that lane, though.
Yeah, you want to get Mantra Qs and Mantra Es if there's like an oh crap moment. Regardless, we do see the back coming in from Kanye 2048 to grab the enchantment, leaving the Nunu able to get the top lane Scuttle Crab. This does leave some safety force way to push up on Top Notch Knock Top, so I do like seeing this path from Armor Little, as it does enable him actually to move towards bottom lane with the biggest snowball ever, and try to take both Scuttle Crabs before taking first back.
Yeah, it does have the lane control in both the mid and the bottom lanes there because of the early back for the second Doran's Blade here. Holmo 1 will end up giving away that second Scuttle Crab, so lots of vision control early on to dissuade.
Top Notch Knock Top, very low, but he gets the W down on Sway, first blood. I wasn't sure that was gonna kill, but
Doran's
looks
Ring.
to be Doran's Ring, man.
This is why you take Doran's Ring on that Volibear top. It gives you so much damage on your E, and people do not expect it.
Are we gonna see the Gunblade Volibear? Is this gonna be a throwback to the Volibear rework release?
Nah, this is not, because it is still the W max there. It is. I still see a lot of Doran's Ring starts on the Volibear because you get a lot of sustain from a lot of fights. So if you're constantly fighting, you don't need the sustain from the Doran's Ring, but the extra damage and the mana regen that the Doran's Ring can get you will allow you to just like constantly get in and do a lot more damage than is expected.
Yeah, and ops for the Sunfire Cape with the Bomby Cinder first item. I feel like up against the Wukong, if you're building Sunfire Cape first, you want to get the Chain Vest, if I'm not mistaken, just because the Bomby Cinder passive doesn't do a whole lot for you against bruisers, but I could be wrong there.
Yeah, this just is kind of like more aggression. You're winning the lane, so just win the lane harder. You're going to get that auto attack stun on the Wukong, and you get the burst of damage. It lets you push the waves super effectively because of Volibear's passive in combination with the Bomby Cinder. So it's really just like, I'm winning lane, and I'm going to keep winning lane.
Indeed. That said, lots of early pressure from Omar Little, not necessarily on the lanes, but just on the enemy jungler. He has lane prio bot lane. That's going to lead towards this dragon take. As we see, Top Notch Knock Top going for the early dive on a Sway. He will be able to get a turret plate for his troubles, but not even forcing a summoner spell out of that one and using his ult. He's also in kind of a not great position with the proxy farm, and Sway has ulti, gonna dodge in, has the Cyclone, gonna pop it, but the W does so much damage. Sway, first go under tower here. Top Notch Knock Top with the flash forward. He's coming second proc with the Cyclone, but he will still get the kill, and Top Notch Knock Top gets away with murder in the top lane.
Yeah, and I was going to point out there that that was actually a fine trade because the ooh, here comes the Nunu,
biggest
though.
snowball ever. Nope. Oh, but the flash, the snowballs, the bite. Yeah, there we go.
There you go. That's a good shutdown from Omar Little there. Burning the flash, but totally worth it. Yeah, just that's the pressure that this Volibear can really bring. You saw the dive come through, put Sway at about half health, and then Volibear can proxy farm fairly well between the E and the passive, clears waves pretty safely there, and just getting back in on Sway with no defensive stats to his name.
Blade Caller not going to get a root, though. This Homo 1 wins that trade very effectively. Also, Goijoy is just really well done use of the Black Shield.
Yeah, it gets any kind of it gets any kind of root coming through just to not actually make a difference there. There's a lot more lifesteal between the double Dorans here on Homo 1, so those, despite the fact that there is no sustain, those even to slightly favorable trades, absolutely in Homo's favor.
And we see the mid lane, maybe Loxy has quite a bit of pressure on TensorFlow, but he is down in CS. So without the kill, that does mean TensorFlow is getting out of this lane phase pretty much scot-free and unpunished for the weak Azir lane. So well done for TensorFlow, playing that one fairly well, even without the Omer Little jungle pressure. He does have level 6 now, so should be able to make a little bit more happen in the side lanes. As we see, Kanye 2048, level 5, gonna look for a gank top side with the Volibear, but decides against it.
Yeah, and this is starting to become a little bit of a problem here in the jungle. Is this Nunu's level 7. There's a huge level disadvantage here.
Oh.
Homo.
Ash has the ult, gonna get the stun down onto the Xayah Summoner here. Will be used flash out, but he is ignited up. Curseforce just needs one more auto attack, and Homo 1 will fall. Root lands from Sugoijoy. Here comes the Featherstorm into the Blade Caller, gets the root down, but decides against going further, so that is a nice bit of kill going over. Here comes Sway though, Volibear with the Stormbringer, the Cyclone goes down, but Amumu's already there to take up the damage. Sway ends up falling, and Top Notch knocks up to the turret shot! Sway picks up the kill on the 1v2.
And that's really good for Sway, because that was 2 ultimates burned. That was the flash from Kanye used as well. So a lot burned just to go 1 for 1 there. And the wave not even really gonna crash there. So not a whole lot missed for Sway, and turning that around to really get a just an even trade in what should have been just a complete loss.
Isn't Sway a Microsoft framework? I just realized, like you have TensorFlow, which is like an NVIDIA technology, and you have, well, a library based on NVIDIA technology, and then you have Sway, which is like a Microsoft thing. And they're from Intel. What's going on here? What's your naming convention?
I feel like you're reading into names a lot. Sway can be a lot of things.
It can be. It's also like isn't it like a Google app framework as well?
I'm not aware.
Look, man. Lots of things happen. Yeah, the root lands down onto Rosadred. He should fall to the Ash. Gonna pick it up with the Enchanted Crystalero. The stun lands. Zerath gonna pop the ultimate as well. Curse Doors will fall to 100 health, and the double kill lands for Homo 1. Nicely played there. Office to Goijoy's root.
Yeah, Office to Goijoy's root, and just that is kind of just like, despite the kill disadvantage, you can see the farm differential here being such a huge thing. And the root hits, great engage, and honestly, I do want to point out Hobo letting the arrow AoE get the kill on the Karma and immediately turning on to the Xayah there to take Kurtor's down and just get the most DPS possible.
Yeah, that's feels bad, man, for the Intel squad. Currently down 1.3k at this 11-minute mark. Not insurmountable by any means, but it is definitely advantage to the Facebook clickbaiters at this point in time. The Mountain Dragon spawns, though. This could be dangerous for Facebook if they don't try to contest this. And it's going to be second Drake over to Intium Pentakill. Or to Intel Pentakill. Pentium kill. Ugh.
You're getting there.
Messing up my puns. Kanye spell shielded. Gonna pop the curse of the sad mummy. Xayah with the feather storm. Stun lance from Zerath. Rosadred very low. Here comes the Zero though, and a beautiful Emperor's Divide. Kanye falls so low, and the absolute Zero picks up the kill. Top notch shock top though. Trying to find his way to Rosadred. 100 health, but he's not able to get the kill. Cyclone into the backline, and he gets to go into the Zerath. It's gonna be a 3 for 2, and now Homo 1 has no peel. The Cyclone second proc. Homo 1 falls. Top notch knocked top the last member of his team alive, and he will stay that way. If he has anything to say about it, pops the W down. And will be a 5 for 2, or sorry, a 4 for 2 in favor of the Intel Pentium kill.
Yeah, Kanye going a little bit too hard in there, getting a great ultimate there, but having to use that spell shield just to try and get out there. And the damage was just already done. Kanye not able to tank up a whole lot past that, and TensorFlow just outputting a bunch of damage. By the time the Ashe and the Xerath were really there to try and get into that fight, it was just already too late. And then Top Notch coming in with the TP afterwards and really just getting a slap down and running away.
That was a great Shurima shuffle from TensorFlow, though. Like, really showing some mastery on the champion. Felt like I was watching Pobelter there for a second. Kanye 2048 going ahead and grabbing his blue buff as he clears up some of this vision towards the Dragon Pit. Of course, Ocean Dragon spawning in 3 minutes 30 seconds for the Ocean Soul. Rift Herald, second run will spawn relatively soon here as well, as the Baron spawns in 6 minutes 47 seconds.
Yeah, and here's going to be the Rift Herald usage, just using it now to get the plates as soon as possible. I do like this play because you only have a little bit of time before plates go down. It's a nice little kill's worth of gold going into Omar and Little's pocket.
Meanwhile, with this lane swap top lane, they got a lot of gold on Holmol 1 just off the plates. Sway will be able to keep the turret from falling pre-14 though. But gotta be careful about that. Top Notch knocked up though. Onto Cursed Doors. Root not gonna land from the Karma.
Yeah, he is a beefy boy. He was able to itemize into the armor, which just makes that lane swap just really, really effective.
Here comes somewhere little though, so Sugoi Joy. I go ahead and pop the spell shield. Flash will be used. Worth, in the words of Willemp there, just worth. That's what means. It means worth. No.
I see.
I speak Yeti.
It's a little weird there. Not sure where you learned that.
It's like how Dory speaks whale. I speak Yeti.
Yeah, and that's also really weird. I don't understand.
It's fine. You'll understand it eventually. It's a Freljord thing.
Anyway, back to the game. Meanwhile, looks like he actually started to catch back up and farm a little bit here. Is close to hitting that Luden's Echo there, which will increase the push potential there and make this Azir have to stay a little bit closer under the tower or burn a lot of mana trying to keep up.
Yeah, and we see Kanye 2048 trying to put pressure towards this top lane tower, but Omar Little's here to help Sway, and we see TensorFlow on the side. He has the Emperor's Divide. Looking for the shuffle. Here comes Sway, forcing the flash, pops the Cyclone. TensorFlow has the shuffle available. Curse of the Sad Mummy into the second Cyclone, though. As with Zero uses, there's the shuffle right under tower. It's a disaster for Facebook Clickbaiters as the triple kill goes over to Sway, and they lose first tower in the bot lane.
And yeah, that's a huge, huge mistake there coming through there. Top Notch did not have the teleport to show up. If they had the ability to turn that tower off, that may have been a different fight, but was sitting in base, had no TP, and a great shuffle into the Nunu ultimate there. Very clearly had that planned out, and Sway cleaning up for the triple.
Stormbringer on the Sway, though. That's a 900 gold shutdown, so...
You like that?
That's
a bit of an overstay.
A bit of an overstay from Sway. That said, TensorFlow definitely had his morning coffee lake, so feels good, man, for the Azir.
You told me you were gonna make that pun, and it still just was incredibly disappointing to hear.
Nah, it's great. It's totally fine. Top Notch knocked up, looking for mid lane. TensorFlow will shuffle out, though. As we see the Dragon being started.
Hold up, though. That was a Bilgewater active. So we might be seeing a Gunblade.
That's entirely possible. They do have Prio on the Dragon, so they should be able to grab it. Top Notch knocked top, though. Knocked Airborne, Chair Crystal Arrow. Gonna be a swing and a miss. Ashe pulls off the Drake, but that should still be Ocean Drake over to the Facebook Clickbaiters. And they will just run away.
Yeah, and that's good just to take away from Intel right now. Just keeping them away from Soul Point also keeping the Ocean Dragon to stop the poke of this Xerath and Ashe. So good to make sure that that dragon in particular does not go over.
Yeah, and the gold is dead even at the 17-minute mark. Once again, TensorFlow, not a kill to his name, by the way, but 2 big ultimates thus far. Has the completed Gnasher's Tooth, so has his first item out of the 2 necessary for the Azir Spike, with Maywaloxy very close to the Luden's Echo as well, currently down about 500 gold, but nothing insurmountable for the Xerath. As we move into the mid-game.
Okay. Has to be very careful there, very low. Does have the ultimate to get out of a sticky situation, but that is just a lane you need to get out from.
But there aren't any singed in this game. There are no sticky situations.
That's not the only champion that has that kind of ability.
No Cassios in this lane either. This is what he deals with on a regular basis, or what they deal with on a week-by-week basis, and it's coming to you on CEA LoL Twitch channel. Be prepared for it.
It's one of those like, just I'm stuck in this situation, but I choose it. It's my own personal just demon that I have to fight every week.
That demon being me, of course, but we love it. We love League of Legends. Homo 1 gonna try to get tower in the bot lane, but not able to trade it back. As Karma has wave clear despite being a support. Kanye 2048 is making his way down bot lane though. As we see, maybe a collapse on the second Rift Herald on Omer a little. We'll pop the biggest snowball ever. Not gonna get stunned up by the Xerath though. TensorFlow is around, has the Emperor's Divide, gonna pop it as the Absolute Zero does some damage to top notch knock top. Rift Herald will fall. This way we'll pick it up. Touch not top. Very low, but the Ashe gets the Enchant Crystallera onto the Azir. That's 1 kill to the Xerath. Top notch knock top. Wastes so much time, but he still will get shut down. Rasta Dread, flash over the wall, able to get root down, but here comes the curse of the sad mummy. Sway, though, has not caught in that one. Will pop the double cyclone to go enjoy very low, but he stays alive as Kanye 2048 picks up the kill with the Ashe damage. 2 for 1. And the Rift Herald will go over to Intel Pentium kill. As the dragon spawns.
Everybody showing up there, and just a lot of re-engage there worked out so well. The Azir ultimate not exactly where you wanted it to be. There's Kurtor's a little bit safe here.
Yeah, the summoner able to get her out of Xerath W. He's just like, nope. No thank you.
Yeah, and just a great Amumu ultimate here. As there's a TP coming now.
Doesn't have the Stormbringer, but he has the stun, and down goes Curse Doors. Root not gonna land for Rasta Dread, as there was already the spell shield. Here comes Sway, though, into the back line, gets Maywaloxy. It's 1 for 1. Sway trying to make his way out. TensorFlow is here, though, alongside the Nunu.
Alright, so it is the Blade of the Ruin King coming through on the Volibear there. So not the Gunblade, not super spicy, but...
also has a Phage. I mean, I like it up against this tank, Volibear, and Amumu. Probably gonna be a Black Cleaver. I wouldn't expect the Triforce.
No, that is a Triforce.
There's a Oh, yep, there's the Stinger. Ate my words. I honestly think it's a good Black Cleaver game, though.
Absolutely, yeah. Just lots of armor will be coming through eventually onto this Amumu, and the Volibear obviously has the Sunfire, but...
Oh, well, rip Curse Doors. Oh, never mind! Nice Featherstorm. Oh, for ult, but the flash used. Rasta Dread's here. Here comes Top Knock Top, puts the W down, gets some damage. Root lands from Segoyjoy, but Top Notch Knock Top very low, rooted up by the Karma. And there goes the Azir. We'll be able to stay alive for the time being. Dragon spawns, 7 seconds.
Omar.
1 on Omar Little. Slowed up, forced to flash out there. No flash on the AD carry or the jungler. Only Sway has it.
Yeah, they don't have the Blast Cone either, so if Omar wants to get in on this dragon, he has to go through the river.
And Xerath ultimate should be enough to keep Omar Little out of there. Here comes the Stormbreaker, though! And down goes Curse Doors and Rasta Dread. Ember's Divide not going to be enough to disengage that fight as Omar Little is down to 150 health. 2 kills and the Ocean Dragon goes over. Top Notch knocked top, though. Oh, tries to find Sway. Cyclone. First proc hits, but maybe not the second one. Stunned up, and that's another kill for the Volibear. Meanwhile, Homo 1 trying to trade out with TensorFlow and barely makes it. Kanye 2048 with the assist. It's 4 for 1. And the Dragon goes over. They're up 3K at the 22-minute mark.
Yeah, and this mid game has been super great here for Facebook as the Clickbaiters are now going down, taking more towers. And
they're putting the int in intel right now.
Yeah, that was my joke. Let me make my joke.
Yeah, but I gotta steal it. I can steal it.
No.
Much like I steal your heart every week.
Homo was just sitting there.
Oh, that was close.
That was incredibly close there. And honestly, I do want to point out a slight mistake there from Sway. Popping the ult again for the second proc while Top Notch was chasing him down with the Q active. If Volibear gets hard crowd controlled during the Q while he has the movement speed, it does just, the cooldown gets reset. So you have to wait for that that move speed to time out if you want to crowd control that Volibear.
Retail gonna be popped in the mid lane to get a tower, so 1 outer remains for Intel Pentium kill to remove. Facebook Clickbaiters have all 3 outers in the mid lane tier 2. Still, anyone's game, though. 4K lead at 25 minutes. Yes, feels good for Facebook Clickbaiters, but at the same time, you're up against an Azir. So...
Yeah, I mean, I do want to give some credit there. The big thing that Facebook was really trying to deal with was the lack of the map being open. They were down a lot in towers despite having the kill advantage, and just with that last fight, able to open up the map a whole lot there. They're gonna try and go for this Baron here, but I'm not sure I care for this because there is no teleport on Top Notch to get in, and he is their big player right now.
TensorFlow has the Emperor's Divide as well. They're gonna peel off
Omar.
a little now. On a whole
Very far forward.
2048. Here comes the absolute zero, and the Azir forcing the flash out of Kanye 2048. But Homo 1 does so much damage. The Xerath ultimate gets 2. Double cover the Xerath and Wukong into the backline. Tries to find his way on a Homo 1. Will get 1. Has the Blade Caller from Kurtzos. Tries to get the root down, but it's a triple kill already for the Xerath. Sway on a Kanye 2048. Not able to get the double kill. As Top Notch Knock Top goes on a rampage. 9, 3, and 5. The stun lands on a Rasta Dread and a double kill for the Volibear, and it's an ace for 1 for the Facebook Clickbaiters.
Yeah, and a great roam up there. Top Notch getting up by the time that fight really started to help his team out. Omar Little moved so far forward, and it was just too far forward there. TensorFlow had to burn everything just to catch up with that Nunu, and the wall was not enough there. The Ashe ult able to stun him long enough while the Nunu took more damage, and the Azir ult to help finish off there. Kanye, really good bandage toss. They just really crowd controlled TensorFlow throughout the majority of that fight, and that is why the Ashe stayed alive.
Yeah. Omar Little trying to fend for his blue buff. We see Kanye 2048 actually building into the second item Leandries, so not even building armor yet. Understandable. Have a nice day.
Understandable with how big this Volibear is right now and how much health the Volibear and the Amumu really have.
No, I quite like the Leandries here from Amumu. Helps you snowball quite a bit more than just building more MR or armor here. I would like to see a Gargoyle Stoneplate come out from him for third item, but we'll see how they decide to do that. Azir not on the Leandry's Torment quite yet. That is kind of their way to deal with the Volibear, but he's down 1.4 thousand gold on Mewaloxi at the moment, who is going for the Forbidden Book. But wait, no, that's not the Forbidden Book. He's going for Spellbinder.
Yeah, seems like it. And I actually really like that just for the extra move speed to really kind of disengage and keep himself safe with how aggressive this Nunu and the Azir and Wukong are. So we are setting up for the dragon right now, and this is going to be a huge, huge fight. Both top laners have the teleport prepared. No flashes on the carries for Facebook here.
Yeah, and they gotta play this dragon dance perfectly, or else Omar Little can potentially go in for the steal. Kanye 2048, level 13, as well as the Nunu. But they have the inside track, and Volibear will TP for
Oh, they're just going for
Here
the
comes the
volley.
ult on Omar Little. They will get rooted up doubly. Here comes TensorFlow over the wall. The dragon will fall. It'll be a Volibear for a dragon at the very least. Here comes the entry. Crystal Arrow gets onto the Karma. The shutdown lands. There's gold in them there, bear. Not going to be able to
But
stop
honestly,
Mabaloxy. I'll
think
take
you
it.
take that.
I
You
will
get-
take
you
that
get
any
Soul
day.
Point. You get Soul Point, and now you have 3 Ocean Dragons. That healing starts to really add up, and that's going to continue in the middle of these fights here. As, yeah, like, Top Notch went in, sacrificed himself to just take Omar Little out of any kind of fight, and that confirmed the dragon over. So very clearly saying, you guys take the dragon, I will just take the loss here.
That does leave a Baron advantage potentially to Intel Pentium kill. We have 6 seconds on the Volibear, and he doesn't have TP. I don't think they're going to go for this play, though. It's a bit risky.
It's very risky because you still have the Amumu who can come over the wall with the bandage toss and then set up a great ultimate there with the Morgana able to follow up. Has the Zonias available, so we'll be able to just get in with those tanks and lock people down if they're not careful.
Rusted Dread NA, building the Mikhails instead of the Athene's Unholy Grail. Not something I would typically do on Karma, but I see its utility in this game.
Yeah, I think the Athene's first item probably would have been the correct call. I mean, it does suck to build 2 Chalice items, but at the same time, like, I think the Mikhails is very important considering the amount of stuns and roots and how long they last. It's very important to have that Mikhails, but the Athene's really to help with that poke and to just really help keep everybody topped off and ready for fights is also a big deal.
Yeah, I like the Locket, though, quite a bit here. I feel like you want to go, like, Locket Athenes or, like, Athenes and a Locket and then the Mikhails, but...
I think the Locket needs to be 3rd item, honestly. I think these roots and these stuns are a much bigger problem than this AoE damage.
Alrighty then. That said, nothing huge in terms of neutral objectives taken from the Facebook Clickbaiters. The lead hasn't really extended all that much in the past 5 or so minutes. They're at 5k at the 30-minute mark. Azir on the Leandri spike here. As we do see, it will be the Forbidden Book and then the Spellbinder. Not a huge fan of this one, unless the Ocean Soul gets completed. I feel like you want to complete your Spellbinder before the Morellos here for Mabaloxy, but I don't think it'll get punished this game.
Yeah.
Rusted Dread,
What
though.
is getting
Speaking of
punished?
getting punished, here comes the bandage toss, back down to the way, but Mabaloxy's already in Rampage, gets killing the Karma. Here comes the dunk, though, down in a double kill for the Xerath as Ash picks up another. It will be 3 for 0. And the Azir was just nowhere near that fight.
Yeah, not able to get in. Had to respect the Amumu ultimate coming through, so had to keep backing up there, and Top Notch coming in just to, like, lay people down. The damage coming through from this composition is terrifying, and that will be in the inhibitor down, which means Baron is very easy to set up for Facebook.
Yeah, and they are moving directly towards that Baron. Of course, they have to clear out the vision gained by Intel Pentium kill here, but they have quite a bit of time on their side. Omar Little currently up in 2 seconds, doesn't have the flash. They could just start this after grabbing vision. Go for a soft Baron, potentially. Instead, they're opting for the pick on the rotate. Rusted Dread. Yeah, he's been
Again,
positioning very far forward.
Yeah, I think they expected him to be on the Baron, that's why he was there. Homo, though, getting very far forward himself.
Read it up. Here comes Sway, though, with the Cyclone. Gets the second proc down. Absolute Zero also going to be procced, but there's the damage. Cursor's gets a kill onto the Amumu, but the stuns already land onto the Zaya. They're able to trade back, though. TensorFlow gets a double kill. He will get taken out by the Xerath. It's a 3 for 4, and Rasta Dread's the last member alive, and the ace triple kill for Facebook Clickbaiters. They're going to look for the end here.
Yeah, they're going to push forward here, and I think they're going to be able to get it here 30 seconds before anybody's going to be up. And what a clutch Black Shield from Sugoi onto Homo there. Was very far forward, but none of the following crowd control could keep the Ashe from just running back. And that was so key because there was no damage to get onto the Azir. Xerath could stay super far back and ult onto people who were caught in the Nunu ultimate there. The Azir not able to push the Ashe in, and the Nunu ult only hitting tanks meant that this game was going to go to Facebook Clickbaiters.
Yeah, and this is a best of 3, so they're up 1-0. We will end up seeing them in game number 2. Honestly, that was a much closer game than I thought it would be from the very early game, but Intel definitely had some bright moments to keep this one competitive.
Yeah, I think one of the bigger things there is just TensorFlow did not get any of those kills until the end of the game where it didn't matter there.
So I
Black
work at
Shields
Amazon.
coming
I'm
through,
actually part of the
Homo
ops tech.
able to really kind of like pull things together, and despite being very far forward, able to back up and let those tanks frontline, and in those late game team fights, they could never get onto this Xerath or the Ashe.
Yeah, and honestly, it's just top-notch knock top, man. That was really well played from the Volibear.
Yeah, looked a little bit rough in the mid-game portion there, that dive where they went 1 for 1. I thought that might be where it starts to turn around, especially when they also had the triple kill on Sway there as TensorFlow threw everybody under the tower. I thought that might be where things start turning around there, but Top Notch made a lot of really good macro decisions to confirm a lot of objectives for his team, forcing people to come fight him instead of going to those objectives. And late game, that came in clutch because of how many towers and dragons they had. They were able to really just win those team fights outright.
Yeah, and we are actually getting into game 2 very quickly here. So we are basically not even going to take a break as we get ready to go. Same sides here. So red side for the Facebook Clickbaiters and blue side for Intel Pentium kill. I'm very excited for this game number 2. I think draft strategy should change a little bit from Pentium kill, though.
Yeah, I mean, they already had so much focus on Top Notch already. You have to wonder if they're going to just really all in on trying to take these top laners out. Maybe put Sway on a tank there and just try and stay alive, as we generally expect that from Sway. The Wukong is the only real aggressive top laner that we've seen. It's so we're really kind of hoping to see a bit of a meta shift here from this top lane at the very least.
Yeah, and we are right into the game number 2 draft already. I think you want to ban Nocturne and Volibear both if you are the Intel Pentium kill, because that is...
The Kled is still going to be on the table, and that is one of Top Notch's favorite top laners outside of the Nocturne, obviously.
I think you ban all 3 and just don't ban the AD carry first round.
Yeah, I think that really kind of has to be the call here. The top lane obviously was the linchpin of that entire game there, as we are seeing TensorFlow's Yasuo once again getting taken out.
Yeah, and there's the Kled as well. So no differences quite yet in the bans, but we'll see if they decide to ban away that third champion, the Volibear. Nunu being banned away as well here from Omar Little. I think that was definitely a high point for them in the mid game for Intel Pentium kill, so I like this ban away from the Facebook squad, and it's going to be the Xerath ban instead, trying to keep TensorFlow with an advantageous matchup instead of removing the Volibear.
I don't mind that entirely because I think that was really kind of a rough point for TensorFlow. Like TensorFlow obviously is one of the big carries for Intel, so trying to get the advantageous matchup there, TensorFlow was not really able to play aggressive at all in that matchup. So force Meiwaluxi to fight him in a way that TensorFlow can outplay and win.
Yeah, and Senna being the last ban away here towards Cursed Sway with the first pick. I mean, maybe they want to pick something different into the Volibear. They're going to first pick the Ashe, so taking it away from Holmol 1. You don't want to pick the Caitlyn into this one because that's an Ashe-favored matchup. However, you still can if you want to.
I don't think they will because Holmol does not play Caitlyn. I think what we're going to see here is probably... I would want to take the Jhin. I think the Callista is also possible, although that's not a great matchup for Callista.
Yeah, but I didn't think the Ashe matchup was very good for the last game either, but Holmol definitely picked that very well. Mordekaiser for top-notch and Octop, showing us a different top laner. This one definitely much more strong side focused, and it will be the Ashe. So Caitlyn Ashe handshake happening this game.
Okay. Yeah, I'm surprised because we have not seen Holmol play any Caitlyn in solo or flex. So this is definitely one that we don't have a lot of information on. The Morgana gonna be taken away here, and I think this is the correct call. You do not want to give over the Morgana Ashe or the Morgana Caitlyn to Sugoijoy, especially after how well Sugoijoy really played with those black shields in the last game.
Yeah, and when you take this Ashe Morgana combo, you do have the Karma potentially being picked up from the Facebook clickbaiters. Obviously, Morgana is kind of a counterpick into that, but still, it does work very well into the Ashe. We see the Diana being hovered here as the Zac gets picked up for Omar Little. One of his favorite champions as well. Has that level 4, level 5 aggression that we like to see. If this Diana gets locked in, they have to ban away Galio. Even if TensorFlow doesn't necessarily play a lot of it, it still is one of those things where, like, you just pick Galio, and it's pretty much a brain-dead one lane for TensorFlow if he decides to take that matchup.
Yeah, that is absolutely a rough one. Omar Little getting the Zac this time around. It's a little bit risky here as the only Zac play we've seen has not been terribly great. They're banning the Hecarim when Zac has already been selected. I feel like that's a mistake.
I like the Amumu ban, though.
I like the Amumu ban. Yeah, Kanye did really well with the Amumu. A lot of people like to hate on Amumu for being a simple champion, but like Kanye played it really well. Hit a lot of really clutch bandage tosses and ultimates in that game. So take that away. Avoid this kind of like team fight like setup that the Diana would love to have.
Yeah, and Wukong being banned away as well, so they don't want Sway on that champion as with the Mordekaiser. I understand that one quite a bit. I feel like at this point you can either pick Shen or Maokai for Sway, and I think both are very good into the Mordekaiser as far as like tanks are concerned. If you want to play towards weak side, if you want to pick like he's more a tank player than a strong side top player anyway, right? So
yeah. Well, I think also this is just very good because the composition that Intel have picked so far lacks a strong source of damage. The only damage they have so far is the Ashe, and she is not really a super damage heavy carry. So there has to be something super damage oriented in this mid lane picked here because the only other options Sway really has are tanks. The Wukong is the only aggressive top laner that he really plays.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the mid lane picks, like Galio hasn't been banned away, and it gives you early game damage up against the team, and it's a good lane into the Diana. This is the Jax. This actually turns very interesting because Counter-Strike into Mordekaiser W, I'm not sure actually how that interaction works. I feel like he should block most of the damage, right?
It blocks 20% of AoE damage, I believe.
Okay.
So
I don't think it's a bad matchup for the Jax at all then.
It's
Orianna being picked for the late
bigger,
game damage though.
The bigger thing about the Jax in the Mordekaiser matchup is Mordekaiser relies on hitting an auto attack to proc his passive. So being able to block out an auto attack in the Mordekaiser trade will always allow for Jax to win that matchup. but it has to be played correctly, because if you use the Counter-Strike incorrectly, Mordekaiser can just all in you and completely take you out of a lane.
Yeah, and we see the Vi actually getting picked up for Kanye 2048 in place of the Amumu because that was banned away. Very similar style of champion, I will say. Has quite a bit of good potential to engage onto the backline here, especially with the Vi ultimate. Like, once you're hit with it, I don't believe Black Shield can actually prevent the knock-up, if I'm not mistaken, because it's already been targeted, but I might be wrong. How does that interaction work? I think
Black Shield with the Vi?
Yeah, because if Vi ults you, I don't think Black Shield can stop the rest of the ult, right?
No, it will. It will. Yeah.
It will. Okay.
Yeah.
So she'll charge towards you, but no
charge towards
knockup.
you, but you just keep running.
Okay.
So she will just completely get onto you, but there is no crowd control that will come through. It's the same way with, like, that's how Black Shield works with everything.
Okay.
As long as Black Shield is on before the crowd control activates, it will block that crowd control.
Okay, but you still get damage and she still makes the movement. Okay.
Yes.
Just double checking, because Vi ult is a weird one. I think you're going to have to pay QSS tax, though, if you're Kurtzors this game, just because you have Mordekaiser and Vi both. Regardless of the Morgana Black Shielding, because I don't think Black Shield stops Realm of Death, if I'm not mistaken. So
it does.
But it's a targeted ability that's instant, so it just prevents it from going on for the duration of Black Shield, and then it'll just hit R. Like, it doesn't waste the cooldown, right?
Yes,
so you
does.
still need QSS.
It wastes the cooldown. Yeah, it's really not fun.
Wait, hold up. That doesn't make sense to me, though. Because aren't you untargetable from crowd control spells? No? Am I
with
just...
Morgana?
With Morgana Black Shield. No, I'm mistaken. Never mind. I'm the village idiot. Don't worry about that.
Yes. PhiNick says things and I correct them. That is how this cast works.
Yes. That said, I do quite like this Intel Pentium kill comp more than the last one. I think you're playing more towards the split push potential with the Jax, but at the same time, like, you have quite a bit of late game damage and you have a lane that's winning. That the Zac can gank because it's blue side Zac. Ganking top lane is very nice.
Yeah. It's weird because Facebook's comp is like a mix of, we want to kind of pick people, but also we want a team fight. It's kind of skirmishy in that sense, because like the Janna does not work well with the Diana. They want to do the opposite things. The Mordekaiser, really good in kind of that early 1v1 situation, but wants to kind of group up and kind of take that person out of a fight for that 1v1. And then just pop out with a bunch of extra stats and a huge shield. The Vi, obviously Vi is just known for picking people out and just taking carries out of fights. But like, so much of this is like, we kind of want a team fight, but we also don't want like full on team fights, especially against this Zac and Orianna and Morgana. There's so much like just big AoE crowd control to pull everybody into a group together and ruin their day with AoE.
That said, like, they kind of don't need to take team fights with their comps. Like obviously, like, it's nice to have Janna and Diana. Like, either one in a team fight. One's very good at disengage, the other one is very good in engage rate. But at the same time, like, we take a look at like where their power spikes are, and we don't really see much in the way of late game scaling. Like, Caitlyn does scale late, but not nearly as hard as this Orianna Ashe. So I feel like they want to get the lane advantage more than anything else in this early game, as we are now loaded into the game. Do we notice anything interesting on the side of runes?
There is the Press the Attack and the Conqueror here. Also the Electrocute. Wow, there's a couple of weird ones here. So usually you see Fleet Footwork on the Caitlyn just for that lane domination and being able to stay at max range as much as possible. Conqueror is not out of the realm of possibility for Diana, just a little bit of a different style. Usually you will see something like the Electrocute just for the burst damage and all-in potential. Conqueror says that you want to fight for a longer amount of time and you don't really want to take just like these burst trades.
And you want to take advantage of the passive as well, right?
Yeah. Electrocute on Vi has actually not really been a thing since she got a couple of changes to make her more bruiser oriented instead of just kind of like all-in bursting people. Generally on Vi, you see Aftershock nowadays because she doesn't have as much AD scaling. You don't build her as a kind of like damage threat. You build her as this tank who wants to isolate people and just lock them down and force them to keep backing up out of fights.
Yeah, it's interesting, but like you still can't go for the damage focus on the Orianna in particular. I think is going to be very difficult to peel for. Like she doesn't have any self peel is the big thing. So if you want to make a gank happen level 6, I feel like mid lane's the place to do it. For Kanye 2048, especially because otherwise you're dealing with a counter strike or a black shield. So I think mid lane's going to be very spicy for the Facebook Clickbaiters squad. Meanwhile, Omar Little, as we already talked about, wants to gank this top lane, and I think this is a great blue side Zac game.
Yeah, there's a lot of great gank opportunities here. Bot lane is a little rough, but I mean, if you hit a binding, sure, go for it. Diana does not deal with ganks terribly well. It is probably one of her weakest points, just that pre-6. She can only really go in. Got fights happening.
Oh, boy. Level 2 once again for the Facebook Clickbaiters, and that's the first blood. Kurtzos, though, gonna try to trade back on a Holmo. 1, the flash, the W. That's 1. And some Portal combat up against Kurtzos has a level 2, but it's gonna be a flash. And a disengage. Cleanse also used from Holmo 1, so lots of summoners used, 1 for 1, but the first blood goes to the Caitlyn.
The first blood goes to the Caitlyn, but the Caitlyn dying afterwards is kind of a big deal because this means that there is now free farm for Kurtors here. Technically, I think that works out a little better for the Caitlyn, but it kind of is even just because of the farm advantage now. The wave actually pushing towards Kurtors here, so a lot of free farm gonna be coming through. Doran's Blade, a second Doran's Blade coming through on Holmo 1. Same as the last game here, looking for that lane advantage here. Kurtors trying to take a fight half health.
So, pre the series, you said no Caitlyn Ashe handshake this series. I have you on record as saying that. To be fair, correct. I thought that it was like maybe like a 70-30, but on no, but this is still interesting to see. We see Kurtzor's forced to back here. As Maywo Loxy not dealing with the early poke from the Orianna super well. Omar Little is here. Run an elastic slingshot. Instead gonna go for a flash stretching strikes. Not sure about that one, Chief.
Yeah, it didn't even auto the minion to get that knock up there. So a little bit of a misplay from Omar Little there. Maybe not super confident on this Zac here. Kanye, I don't think you want to take that fight there. You are down a level, buddy.
Yeah, especially up against a Zac with passive and an Orianna where you don't have mid lane prio. What are you doing?
Yeah, this is gonna turn into a bad thing here as Kanye's gonna have to run away there. Top notch here. Doing pretty well for himself.
Yeah, but that said, like, Sway, 3 CS down is whatever, but, like, so long as Top Notch Noctop just doesn't win the lane, it's fine. And speaking of the early ganks, TensorFlow very low. Flash will be forced out of him as Diana makes his way out. TensorFlow, you don't want to do this, bud. They can dive you. And they will. The knock up. Turret shots on. TensorFlow down to 100 health. Dodges the Q out for Maywo Loxy. Auto attack. TensorFlow still alive.
Oh my god.
And Diana shielding the flash. And Maywo Loxy will trade his life in the 1-for-1 in the 2v1. TensorFlow, what was that, my man?
Yeah, and that was honestly just a little bit sloppy dive there from Kanye and Maywo Loxy there. Great play from TensorFlow to really just play that as well as needed, but the Q missing from Mabaloxy. Kanye set it up, but Jen had to dip out, and Mabaloxy just missing the Q. At that point, you have to just leave. You can't take that fight.
Oh, but the root lands, Ignite, and down goes Sugoijoy. As you see the Counter-Strike land on Sway there. You know, TensorFlow more like OpenAI with how well he's been playing these last 2 games.
You leave me at these puns, and I'm just like, I don't know how to respond to this.
It's not even a pun, it's just a joke. But I mean, OpenAI plays Dota though, not League, so maybe just different processes. Machine learning jokes, everybody. That is what I'm here for.
Kanye up on this top side again, trying to get more gank opportunities here, and I feel like the right call here is just to farm for that level 6, get that ultimate when you can, and then try and go for fights here.
Leap strike, counter strike, but there's like,
wait,
why
what?
are you trying to gank that? You can't do it, and the Realm of Death just stops it, and Top Notch Noctot will tank up the tower shot. Sway is totally fine with that. That's an ult blown for a counter strike.
Alt blown for a counter-strike, and also Kanye just wasted his time there, as you don't call for a gank and then ult the person immediately. That's a miscommunication if I've ever seen one.
Unfortunately, I'm not sure if I can make Valve jokes now that Valorant is a thing. When Jax does something great with Counter-Strike, but I can try.
Yeah, you can. Omar Little here, gonna go in.
Sombrero, but no dice. I'm sorry, that was actually a shockwave on Omar Little to give the kill over to TensorFlow. My bad. Still,
Hey, you just want to flame. You're just ready to just make jokes at everyone else's expense.
No, that was a great shockwave. From the Orianna. I just got confused as to who was red, who was blue. This is not TF2, so no red spies in the base here, but perhaps there is a blue spy as Intel looking very good for this early game. Very solid.
Yeah, and considering how well they're just going to scale, that is a little bit concerning there. Orianna, obviously very, very good compared to this Diana, and I favor this Jax over the Mordekaiser in the late game here. So looking a little bit rough here, as the mid game really needs to be a good turnaround for Facebook Clickbaiters. Otherwise, they're just going to be stuck behind this composition the entire game.
Yeah. Especially with the Orianna advantage in lane, like, that's where Diana should have the advantage in this matchup, and now Orianna going for, instead of the first item Loon's Echo, will be the first item Archangel Staff. Not my favorite, however, it does help with your late game scaling, so, and with your survivability as well. Knockout will force a flash out of Curse Doors as well as the Summoner heal, with Kanye very close, but this is time spent bot lane.
Yeah, and honestly though, I don't mind this tier. I don't mind the Archangels here, because if you look at the composition that...
Oh, nice knock up. Here comes the ult right back from the Ash. The root will be a 1-for-1.
And that's not the worst thing, considering how that all started, so you don't mind that entirely here.
That was a great black shield from Rasta Dread as well to stop the knockup from landing.
Yeah, great black shield and a great bind to force Kanye to then tank up the entire tower there. But yeah, I don't mind this Archangels, because the composition that... I'm never going to get to talk about this.
Ramadeath on Omer a little, but TensorFlow's nearby. Let's bounce already popped.
Oh, he missed the Q!
Oh, not on top! Flash force out of him, but here comes Diana Ultimate, not going to be able to get the follow-up damage. Sway is here, and Mabaloxy will fall. TensorFlow on a killing spree. Zac passive will get popped, as Top Notch Noctop will fall to the Morgana under tower using the chains. And, yep. That's Intel.
Yeah, this is Intel really taking this game off and just going hard here.
Oh.
Holmo though.
Cursors, ace in the hole.
That's it.
Yep, Holmo 1 still has an advantage bot though. Like, 30 CS lead on top of the 2 kills to 1. Not something to sneeze at. Kanye though, yeah, not sure about that one.
Yeah, and with no ultimate there, Top Notch is not going to be able to do anything. Yeah, this bottom lane is the only thing that Clickbaiters really have going for them right now, and they have to play around that. Just really aggressive there for that fight, and just the Jax coming down, obviously going to be a huge thing.
Oh, nice root. The champ for Solero. Sugoi Joy stunned up for eternity. Rastadred not going to be able to get the follow-up damage. W not going to get the slow. Flash out of Rastadred. Here comes the damage from the Ashe. The root. The cleanse immediately. Back with the 9 caliber net as the TP gets channeled. Meanwhile, Mayweather locks the under tower. Tanking it up through the use of the shockwave. Will flash out of the way. Holmo 1 will fall to Kurtzors as Sway guaranteed that kill. TensorFlow. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, direct to camera did not show it, but will get the solo kill onto the Diana. And Intel Pentium kill. Very well played this game.
Yeah, TP coming down from Sway to just confirm the kill very easily there. Sugoi actually, yeah, Sugoi actually only getting out of that fight just because the W on the Morgana missed. So the Tormented Soil was off of the Janna there, did not actually confirm the kill because of that. And now just everything, this is kind of how you handle one of the lanes being ahead. You just say, okay, we're going to get ahead enough to the point where we can just bring everybody down and take our advantage to that winning lane.
And Kane 2048 just getting chunked out by this Orianna at the moment. Currently, has the completed Archangel staff, has the 20 CS lead on the Diana. Maywaloxy, not going to be able to get a Q, but Umber Little is very tanky. Does not have Spirit's Visage next, but that will be the next item, most likely, although he does have a cloth armor, so probably going to be Tabby's before that.
Yeah, and Tabby's, I think, is the correct call. There's a lot of auto-attacking that this team wants to do. Diana and Mordekaiser, while AP do rely on auto attacks in their combos, so not a bad pick, especially with just this Caitlyn being the ahead person here. Late game, all of Caitlyn's damage is really just built into those auto attacks.
But she's only 400 gold ahead due to that play bot lane earlier from Intel Pentium kill. I keep wanting to say Intium Pentakill. It's Intel Pentium kill. It's a pun that I would come up with too. I'm not sure why I'm messing it up.
Because you want to make the pun.
Look, Intel. I love your pun. However, a pun that I would make up is not a compliment. Let's put it that way.
That's very true. I can confirm that.
Meanwhile, Sway in a 1v2 scenario, no counter struck. Vi will pop the ultimate here. Sway should fall. Top Notch Knock Top will pick up the kill. So first kill for the Mordekaiser this game. Has a bit of a lane advantage top lane regardless. Should be able to grab a tower and buy Orianna. Or not buy Orianna, buy Diana.
Yeah. Diana is saying buy Orianna as she goes back to base. And now, yeah, this is a 6-in-1 Orianna. That is not what you want to see, because
the Leandries. LS would be proud.
Yeah, Orianna very scary right now, and Tensor able to take this game to the finish line, I would think, as yeah, Orianna went ahead is a lot of damage.
This freak would say tons of damage. That's it.
Oh no. Fnatic Bush, they're waiting. They know someone's gonna come to the spot lane once it crashes.
Someone's gonna be Diana. This is gonna be such a feels bad man for Maywaloxy.
Oh.
There's the root. Zach's here. Check for Solero and the shockwave sensor flow. Picks up another kill.
It's 3 ultimates just for one person who's not even ahead.
You know,
like, that's not the correct call when we're talking about like ult economy and money, and what you're getting in return for it. But in terms of tilting the mid laner, that's absolutely the correct play.
Yeah, and the back blasting wand, TensorFlow, very close to the Leandri's Torment here, as Bork will be completed for Curse here. Ahead of the IE for Holmo 1. Interesting to see the IE start instead of the Stormrazor, as I think Stormrazor's been a little bit higher priority for Caitlyn's as of late, when you're going for more on-hit focused runes like the PTA or Grasp of the Undying, but thus is the way of the AD carry. They build in mysterious ways.
Mm-hmm. We are going to be Dragon not up for another 3 minutes, so a lot of focus actually around the spot side for what I don't believe is a whole lot here. Top lane Jax is going to be able to... Top lane Jax is going to be able to just farm, and they're really going to try and take this tower down, force people to come in. This actually... Nah, with 4 people, you do not want to take that fight.
Oh... Janna and Caitlyn nowhere nearby. And Sway's just splitting top lane. Like, Mordekaiser, yes, is up 500 gold, but like Sway's totally fine right now.
Sway's at a point right now with the Blade of the Ruin King almost done. Once that Blade of the Ruin King is finished, that is going to be a very scary Jax that I think could go toe-to-toe with this Mordekaiser, especially because this is Hextech Protobelt Mordekaiser, so this is much more about getting burst damage down and less about being able to tank things for a long amount of time. I think this Jax actually will win the fights once that Blade of the Ruin King is completed. I'm
interested that it wasn't the Leandri start for Mordekaiser. I mean, obviously, Protobelt's nice.
Yeah,
I think a skirmish around. Here comes the counter strike right back into the shockwave. That is dirty. 2 kills now. Kanye popped the ulti, but that should be a dead West. Double kill for the Orianna. Zac goes into the blobs. Chris Torres picks up the kill on the Mordekaiser, and it's a 4-for-0 for Intel Pentium kill.
Yeah, 4-for-0. They did. So Kanye did get the Rift Herald completed there, as there's going to be a TP coming through. Mavaloxy gonna probably just end up dying here.
Pops the ulti though, gets some damage. Flash out of the Orianna. He's looking for the 1,000 gold shutdown, but Mavaloxy can't tank it. TensorFlow's legendary, not even needing the shockwave.
Yeah, that's kind of just like Orianna does not need the shockwave to do damage. The shockwave is for team fights. It is not to do damage. So just you can't win a fight against this Orianna as Diana. Even when your ultimate is up, she will just out damage you and burn you down before you're able to take her down. Oh no.
Oh no, Kanye. Oh, this is some dirty Orianna play. You're gonna have to ban Orianna next game, Facebook. Holy moly.
Yeah, the Orianna is really just the name of the game at this point, and Holmo is probably the only person who could try and handle the Orianna in terms of out-damaging and staying safe, because Mavaloxy, any damage Mavaloxy could do will put him in range of just getting deleted by TensorFlow right now.
And this should be the Infernal Dragon over to Intel Pentium kill. One more needed for Soul after this one. And
Mavaloxy's dead again.
Rip. Dash forward, stunned up at the counter-strike. Ash gonna pop the Enchanted Cruciblera, Root Lance from the Morgana, and TensorFlow's legendary, picking it up with the Command Dissonance.
At this point, I think you gotta let other teammates get kills here, because TensorFlow, like, you're ahead enough. You're able to delete anybody. Let your Ashe, let your Jax get some kills, so that the gold is just insurmountable. They can't just focus one person and get gold out of it.
Yeah. I'm interested to see if it's gonna be just the Oblivion Orb and then the decap from TensorFlow off this Amplifying Tome. I feel like you kind of want decap over the completed Leandries at this point. Rasta Dread gonna pop the Zoni Zeroglass. His top-notch knock top did take him into the Realm of Death. And Mord will just flash from the wall, realizing TensorFlow's around. He's like, nope. Gets a pull though.
Wait.
Okay, shut down on the Morgana. That's 600 gold, but here comes TensorFlow. W will
is,
lands, QW on the
unfortunate.
Orianna, and TensorFlow picks it up with the auto attack.
Yeah, and now TensorFlow 13-1-3. A reasonable score to have at 20 minutes.
Yeah. This is why I hate playing against Orianna, by the way.
Yeah, when Orianna is ahead, it's just a you don't do anything really.
We're told spawn mid though, only a little. Pops a let's bounce. And that will be a turret going down. Positive for Facebook.
Yeah, and towers is really the only thing they've been able to stay competitive in as CS also going okay. Obviously the bot lane carrying a lot of the weight in that, but it is Baron time, and I think with Orianna they may be able to pull this out actually.
You know, that Rift Herald use was an Oculus Rift Herald. Baron goes over to Intel Pentium kill.
I'm just gonna stop reacting to it, and maybe it'll stop coming.
Nah. Oculus Rift Herald, that's what it was.
Void Staff coming through now.
Okay.
TensorFlow. Yeah.
I mean, there isn't a lot of
That's-
MR stacking, but you're gonna see it on the Vi anyway, so I don't
It's,
hate it.
it's not even just that. It's the fact that Void Staff ignores all magic resistance versus something like the Last Whisper, which only ignores the built. It ignores the base. So this is just gonna.
Goodbye,
stop
Homo
people.
1. He stays alive though. TP being engaged, TensorFlow down very low, and Sway picks up a kill onto the Diana, top off shock top. The next one to fall. TensorFlow picks up the kill as the Ashe will fall. Kanye though, flashed upon by Sway, and it's a 3-for-1.
Yeah,
The
this
Intel
game
Pentium
is,
kill.
This game is looking like it is pretty much in the bag for Intel. They want to go to that game 3 as that
Baron,
weird
they're
moving
gonna look for the
inhibitor
end.
crack. They're not going to be able to end the game yet, unless they really just push and take another fight. But it will be the inhib down, assuming that will be the reset there.
Yep. And this is not looking good for the Facebook Clickbaiters. Obviously they won game 1, so they'll be able to get into game 3, but with how this game went and how dominating it's been for Intel Pentium kill across the whole game, I'm interested to see how Facebook will change their draft strategy going into game number 3.
Yeah, I think really, like, you have to pick something safe for Maywaloxy here. The Xerath obviously getting banned is rough, because you want to have him on that, but really, you've got to just find something else that can just play safe. I don't think you're going to be able to have Maywaloxy play something aggressive here.
Oh,
Flash in place.
Q-E-R, here comes the TP. Kursaw's gonna try to cut out of the way. Here comes Slay with the counter-strike and stun, and bye-bye, Diana.
Yeah, I think Maywaloxy's a little tilted.
I mean, once you see the TP, I don't think you want to try to go for that play, but I think it was a little bit too late because you're Diana. And
No, you were already
out.
in. There's no way out once that TP started.
TensorFlow TPing in just to take the blue buff. Thanks for the leash, Kanye. Kanye 2048. Make America meme again.
Yeah, now TensorFlow. You know, when you're 4 levels up on your laner, you're doing a pretty good job.
Blast Cone to stop the...
That looks Morgana ult.
Yeah. Here comes Jax though, Blast Cone. Knocked up by the Janna, but no follow-up damage. Baron buff has subsided at the time being, but guess what is about to come down? It's gonna be the Infernal Soul. That's so good on Orianna too.
It really is. Yeah, this is yeah, now the death cap will be starting to come up for TensorFlow, and it's just there's nothing you do. There's nothing you can do at this point.
Yeah, and so 3.5 items for the Orianna versus Almost 2 items for the Diana. It's just not. Okay, well, that's just dirty. I don't know what else to say.
Gold, dude. Give him
You
a chance.
didn't even need to use the shockwave. Oh man. Is he? I think it's worth less than a cannon. How much gold was that?
That was 100 gold.
It was 100. It's less than a cannon.
Yep.
You used all for less than a cannon. Unfortunate. So about to get the second needlessly large rod if he uses the control ward and doesn't buy another one, but probably gonna just wait to build Death Cat fully.
I mean,
he's in a 3v1 though.
Be able to go back and get it at some point.
So QW almost got Homo 1 completely down. Kanye 2048 tries to charge forward, but command dissonance to get away, and here comes the Zac. Rasta Dread and Kurt Sword is also making their way up. And so they rotated everyone for the Diana and didn't even get any damage on her.
Yeah, this is, I don't even know what to say at this point. It's just, the game has been done for a while, and there's not a whole lot to really talk about. It is just, when are they gonna finish?
And Shockwave, 10-4 Legendary, Flash Force out of Homo 1. Realm of Death will be popped, double kill. Ash will pop the Enchanted Crystallero as well. And Sway goes unstoppable, killing the Morgana. Omar Light, low in the Realm of Death, but Rasta is already there. Bob Marley would be proud. And that should be game. Until Pentium kill, taking this to game 3.
That will be it, yeah. The Zac, not who you're going to be able to kill as Mordekaiser is. He has a fair amount of...
Diana though, pops the ulti!
No. Unfortunate. No Zonia's coming through.
What a game for TensorFlow.
Yeah, this is why we see a lot of damage, or a lot of bans come through on TensorFlow, rather. That is just a mismatch and a half. Megaluxy really got to get him on something that could just play safe and get through the lane, because that is what Kurtzos has been doing, and that has worked out super well for Intel.
29,000 damage on Orianna. I, for one, welcome our new AI overlords.
Yeah, that was a solo carry game. Everybody honor TensorFlow for the free LP.
Yeah, free LP, free game, and we got ourselves a series. Game 3 starting shortly. Haven't gotten the invite for that one yet. And speaking of the devil, so we're not even gonna have to take a break. We can just talk a little bit more about that game as we take a look side selection wise. It appears that we're going to get a side swap. So Intel Pentium kill now going to be on the red side. Facebook Clickbaiters will be on the blue side here.
Yeah, so opting into a new side here. That will be, yeah, like you said, Facebook opting into that blue side there. And I think that works out really well because they can just take away something. They can ban out stuff and just take away like that Ash or... leave something up that's contested to be able to take. So I'm expecting, honestly, 3 bans on TensorFlow this game, because that is very clearly just the win condition for Intel. And if you can hold TensorFlow down, we saw it in game 1, that is the way you win.
Yeah, and like you just gotta hold down this AI monster. We'll see how well they go. As we are currently getting the lobby sorted out. It'll be a couple minutes, so we're going to go ahead and take this to a quick break. We'll be right back, though, with more of the Corporate Esports Association Week 1 matchup between the Intel Pentium cores, Pentium kills, and Facebook Clickbaiters. See you after the break. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Corporate Esports Association Week 1 matchup between the Facebook Clickbaiters and the Intel Pentium Kill. My name is PhiNick, joined on the desk today by Thousand Eyes. We're into game number 3, picks and bans. Facebook now taking the blue side for the first time this series, and the first ban is going to be the Jacks.
Yeah, little surprised by that actually. I guess it's just they really want to get top notch a good advantageous lane matchup. So really just trying to put all of their eggs in the top notch basket. But with that Xerath ban, this does put Mewaloxy in a really awkward spot of like, no matter what you pick, you're going to be picking something that is going to have to engage in the lane a little bit more than I think what he's comfortable on.
And the Orianna banned away once again, like absolutely insane from TensorFlow. Absolutely insane from TensorFlow. I like the Xerath ban as well. We see the Kled.
The Nocturne's still available, so I am 100% assuming that is going to be the last ban, or that is going to be first picked immediately. Right now, I think the Yasuo is going to come through here. Don't want to give that over to TensorFlow.
I mean, unless Mewaloxy plays Lissandra and we just didn't see it. Or like Malphite. I don't think he does,
even
though.
Still, I feel like that is just really risking. When you play Lissandra, you have to get in people's faces, and that just did not go well at all.
Yeah. So that will be the Nocturne third ban here, and yes, that's the Yasuo banned away. Yone is still available for TensorFlow, though, if they want to play more playthrough mid. That was such a good Orianna game last game. I think you want to keep that hype going, and it's going to be the Morgana first pick for Sugoijoy, wanting to secure that away, as both supports have had good games on that champion this series.
And I think with just how open the AD carry pool is between these two AD carries, that's kind of just the better option there. Don't let them kind of just take both the Caitlyn and the Morgana if they want that. Kurtzors is going to go for the Ashe, expecting the Caitlyn to be taken here. And this is the first time we've really seen Rasta on something that's just like, we've seen something that we're comfortable seeing him on before.
Yeah, that said, it's not a lesson to the Morgana, so not something I would personally pick into that, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Like, you're not going to be able to get the engage down, but it is very safe against the Caitlyn Morgana matchup because you can position in front of the Ashe, and I think that's why they opted for that pick.
Yeah, I did say it was a comfort pick, not that it was a good pick. As the Nautilus, basically in that lane, you just do not do anything in that lane. That is you're going to sit back and hope the Black Shield comes out early. At the later portions of the lane, though, you will be able to engage if you hit a hook on the Black Shield and then re-engage while the Black Shield is on cooldown. That is going to be the Mordekaiser then taken top notch, taking that again. Now with the Jacks down, it is going to have to be some sort of new pick up against this. And
Shen.
I don't know. Shen would be the ideal pick here, I think. Omar gonna take up the Zac once again, though, so there's a lot of bans that can come through here.
That was a good Zac last game from Omar Little. I did quite enjoy watching that. With the jungle bans available, though, they will be able to ban away the Mumu. So pretty much all the problems that the Intel squad had game number 1 have been banned away, except for the top lane, but now it's the Mordekaiser once again, so I don't really have to worry about that. I'm interested to see what their next ban is going to be, as will be the Wukong banned away by the Facebook Clickbaiters.
Yeah, the Wukong. So once again, just really limiting Sway into something as the Diana actually being banned away here. That's actually really curious to me.
I don't hate it though, because you have the Orianna banned away. You don't really want to prep into a Diana if you're playing an assassin though, because like she's decent into other assassins. So yeah, there's the One ban away, because I think that was going to be the pick if it wasn't banned.
Yeah, so really testing TensorFlow's champion pool here. The Azir was the pick in game 1. I'm assuming this is going to be the top lane here. The Gnar actually being hovered. I'd be curious about this. This Gnar is generally good into the Mordekaiser, as he could just stay out of range from all of Mordekaiser's abilities here, and it is going to be the last pick for Tensor as they.
This is dangerous kiting. They have an insane amount of kite right now until Pentium kill does, so they need someone, a mid laner who will like kite and still do damage late. And Camille getting picked up.
Now I'm curious.
Top notch, not top. I don't. Is that Mordekaiser support?
I think that's Mordekaiser mid.
No, Mordekaiser mid. That's right, because Morgana's already been picked. So that's Mordekaiser mid.
Because the Camille is favorable into Gnar. It's a pretty good engage tool there, and you could just run away if the Gnar is big. So Camille does match fairly favorably into the Gnar. Mordekaiser gonna be the matchup against this Azir, and that is very rough for the Mordekaiser there, and that's not what we wanted to see. We wanted to see Meiwaloxi on just something very safe, something very backline, and just farm and try and poke TensorFlow out. But TensorFlow is gonna have a really advantageous lane on this Azir, and he already looked good on it when he was behind.
Yeah, especially those like 2 ults in the early game or mid game skirmishes to put intel in even in that game number 1. It's very scary. That said, I don't think it works super well with the Gnar and the Ashe. Both of those champions kind of want to kite out until Gnar gets his Gnar bar up. So you still have like engage tools with the Zac, Nautilus, and Azir, and the Gnar can go forward when he's Gnar barred, but like I feel like the Ashe doesn't really have any good form of peel for her, and Mundo can maybe take advantage of that, as well as the Camille.
Yeah, a very beefy team for Clickbaiters, as there is a lot to chew through, but if anybody's going to be able to do it, it is Azir.
Azir into Mundo, though, doesn't feel good.
Azir into Mundo does definitely feel very bad. That is absolutely true. I don't know if it's going to be enough, honestly.
I mean, you're going to have to get an XX on the Ashe and the Gnar fairly early in this game. Just because, like, if you don't early, then Mundo will find a way to snowball. And Azir won't be able to get, should not be able to get a Morellonomicon until 3rd item at the earliest. So this will be interesting. Also, last game, Curse Stores did not pay the QSS tax, and I feel like Meiwaloxi, different player, might be a little bit more adept at those Realm of Deaths, and if he's able to get onto Curse Stores and Azir is chewing through a Mundo, this might be a dangerous team fight for Intel Pentium kill.
This is a composition that is just very tax heavy. you got to get the Grievous Wounds for the Mundo. You got to get the QSS for the Mordekaiser. There's a lot of things you've got to burn. Are a lot of items you need to buy and burn your money, just to be able to really fight against this team. And it does not feel good for a lot of these champions to buy.
Yeah, I am. I mean, that's kind of like the saving grace. I think this comp, they also have decent early game pressure with the Camille and Caitlyn, both in the side lanes. Dr. Mundo is really not going to be super heavy on the ganks. He's definitely more of a team fight oriented jungler. However, when you look at the Zac, this is a red side Zac. He's going to want to gank on the bottom lane, but he's ganking into a Morgana. So I'm a little bit concerned as to how Omar Little will deal with the early gank pressure, especially as Mundo will just be power farming.
Yeah, I think mid lane is probably honestly your best bet. Zac can gank mid lane fairly effectively. Lots of different avenues he can go through. Gnar, if able to poke out this Camille, that is another option, but Camille is able to pretty much just hop out of a lot of situations. I think the focus on the mid lane there is going to have to be the call.
Yeah, and I think that is a good idea, right? Because TensorFlow hard carried game number 2, looked very good game number 1, even in that loss. As we are now loading into the game, we'll be able to see some runes, as it were. I'm excited to see if we're going to see the Guardian Nautilus.
Yeah, that's what we've seen just from the...
It's
no, it is the
Aftershock.
All right.
It
I
is,
feel like
however,
Rust of Red
Guardian
just
Morgana
played that
instead of Airy or Comet.
I don't mind that as much. I think that's fine. I actually think Guardian on Morgana is pretty solid. But yeah, so I feel like Rasta actually just played Guardian in those games just to troll us, for anybody who was looking at the match history. But we are now into the final game of the day here, as a lot of grouping here from both teams, looking like some level 1 shenanigans may be occurring.
Yeah, Rasta Dreadnought needs to get in front of the pack, though, which is what they're going to set up here.
Lots of spread out, though, from Facebook.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
I like how they set this up, though, because they have very quick rotations.
Yes.
Towards this bottom side of the map. And top-notch knock top will see this invade happening the second they leave the bush. But he's taking the recall. Nope.
Just
trolling us.
I think they're going to be waiting for minions to spawn or the buffs to prep here. Not just looking for an invade and a response to it, as they are just going to spread out and go to lanes.
Level 1s. The most important part of a daily breakfast.
Make sure you get your level 1s, everybody.
Make sure you get your level 1s. Part of a complete breakfast.
Full of lots of cheese.
Lots of cheese. My breakfast today was a baked potato with cream cheese. Speaking of breakfasts and cheese.
I have not eaten yet today. I really need to do that.
It's probably a good idea.
It is 5 o'clock here.
It's 5 o'clock on a Saturday. Twitch chat shuffles in. It's a CEA League of Legends day. And I don't have a rhyme for in.
Yeah. Early game, just going about as we expected here. Here comes Top Notch, able to just really ruin this Nar's day. Until that hop comes through, it is very hard for Nar to do a whole lot in this lane.
Yep. Camille matchups, when she's favored, she's just super favored. It's like back in season 7, I think. Yeah, it was season 7 because Henny was playing for SKT. When like Urgot had gotten reworked and he was just killing everyone top lane. Like Camille ended up becoming the go-to counter, because even though in theory Urgot abuses melee matchups, like Camille just abuses it even more. Is kind of what happens.
Yeah, the strong engage that a Camille can bring is just very hard for a lot of champions to deal with. And she just kind of has a lot of everything else, so... Caitlyn Morgana, obviously a really strong lane, as Homo is really showing us how oppressive that can really be here. But I'm really just kind of interested into how Mabaloxy... Oh, never mind.
Here comes the engage, so go enjoy. I'll end up in the Black Shield's Curse does lots of damage from the Tormented Soil. Will end up popping the Cleanse. Mabaloxy got some nice pulse on a TensorFlow as well in the mid lane.
Yeah, and Kurtzor is actually forced back here as Homo just gonna start freezing this lane here, and this is a really rough spot here. So that lane is gonna start slowly pushing back over onto Facebook's side.
Yeah, and
Actually, wait, hold up. Where is Kanye going?
not sure about that one, Chief.
Ooh.
Oh.
That was very sketchy. Oh my goodness.
If one more little check the bush, even if it's a face check, you have such an easy rotate from the Azir there. It's a little sus. But so long as Kanye hits level 6 before Azir gets a kill, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, dragon is now spawned. It is the mountain dragon, which is definitely one Facebook wants to get. As Sway trying to take this fight, but yeah, it is just not going to work out terribly well. Top Notch able to really control that lane.
Camille passive beats Gnar passive.
Correct.
Evidently.
And you can just kind of start to see the farm difference here coming through. There's a lot more farm for Top Notch here, as 23 is going to be the number, and there's, you know, like 6 or so minions for Top Notch already.
Meanwhile,
In the
bot
bottom
lane, though,
lane,
yeah, this Caitlyn.
Caitlyn is just rolling in the money, and Ashe is scrambling trying to get something.
So Goijoy has been released all around this Morgana. Game number 1 in this game as well.
Absolutely.
Like, great Tormented Soil, pushes Kurtzor's forward. Yes, he gets the health end of that trade, but like, if the minions weren't there, if he had something else, like, that's just a bind, and Caitlyn ends up getting a kill.
Important to note that the price for this freeze is the first dragon going over, though, because they froze bot lane and really tried to force Kurtzor's into a bad opportunity, or a bad place, and an opportunity for their jungler, rather. Oh,
There's the hook! Golem Mole down to 200 health. Kurtzor's got some damage down with the Q. No sums blown. Both bot laners taking the cleanse, by the way. Worth noting.
yeah, and I think that's understandable. You don't want to get hit by the Ashe ult into the Nautilus here, and the Morgana binding, very, very scary as an Ashe. Not a lot of opportunity to get away from that. And that's also just kind of like what this lane kind of boils down to, is like the longer it is a less full-on engage, the better it is for Homol and Sugoijoy. Trying to bait.
Root lands, cleanse from Kurtzor's. Kanye is here, has the sadism, TP being channeled, flash forward, gets the pull, no Kanye, very low, that's 3 TPs, and the first blood goes over to the Mundo, but here comes the Azir. Kanye takes up the damage, and the Camille ultimate goes down, but he's stunned up against the wall by the Gnar. It's 1-for-1, Top Notch, knock top, will flash, here comes the shuffle though, and the double kill for TensorFlow, and it's 2-for-1 in favor of Intel Pentium. Kill, first blood. Nah, bro. We'll take the fight.
Yeah, and TensorFlow wants to keep going on this, but we'll not get anything out of that. Yeah, no TP from Mabaloxy really made the difference in that fight, because both the mid laner and the top laner coming through. TensorFlow able to bring the damage needed, as Ignite kept Kanye low enough. Kurtzor's did get the assist on there, was able to pump out a lot of damage onto the Mundo, but really Top Notch not able to do enough alone, as the Gnar ult stunned him up, and TensorFlow 2 kills now on the Azir in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, so now despite the CS deficits and the first blood bonus, gold is pretty much dead even. It's 400, 500 still in favor of Facebook clickbaiters. But more importantly, the gold went on to TensorFlow. And that is exactly who you want the gold to go on to.
Yeah, Kanye able to get the kill on Roster Dread, so not the worst thing, but this is going to be Mabaloxy able to show up and get them off of this Rift Herald.
Sadism about to come back up for Kanye as well.
Not just that, but throughout all of this, though, like, Top Notch has been shoving this lane, and Sway has only just gotten back to base. So there's going to be some plates.
Sorry,
some plates.
40 CS.
Yeah, 40 CS down at 9 minutes.
Oh, it's
And
30.
we'll
I'm
just
dumb.
get out of here.
I can
Yep.
math. I can math.
This is now a very behind NAR, as you can already see a 400 gold deficit for the NAR.
Yeah, it is going to be a tough one for Sway here, especially when we get to the late game, or mid to late game. Just the split push power of the Camille is so difficult for even a NAR to deal with. Olmo, though. Oh, there's Insane Chris Valera right back into the cleanse. Kurtzaw's down to 100 health. That's a little bit dicey for the Ashe.
Yeah, and if this starts off with a bunch of poke from the Ashe, it is a fight they can take now. You can see the BF sword coming through. A lot more upfront damage. They have to get the kill, though, because the lifesteal on that Ashe will mean Kurtzors will just start to get back up to full health. And Holmol does not have the fleet footwork, does not have any inherent lifesteal other than that Doran's Blade, and I would assume the lifesteal from the runes as well. Yes, does have that. Kanye sitting around, wants to get Homo fed.
Yeah. I mean, that was how you won game number 1. Looking for it in game number 3, Rasa Dread. Hooks forward, Kanye.
Hey, Homo, no.
Rasa Dread. Oh, but here comes the depth charge, and Rasa Dread picks up the kill in exchange for his life. You can't do that, Homo.
Yeah, no heal there, and the Ignite plus the ult from the Nautilus will confirm the kill. It is a trade, another kill onto this Mundo, so not the worst thing in the world. You don't mind Mundo getting kills and getting to be a big mid-game threat here.
Yeah, especially when you're up against an Azir, it's just like Spirit Visage. It's so difficult for Azir to burn through Mundo before he gets like you're not only going to need the third item, the third item, Morello Nomicon, you also need a Void Staff
Yes.
up against Mundo. And it's just like when you have a mid laner with 2 set first items that need to get built, it feels so bad playing against Mundo. I'm an Anivia player, that's how I know this. It's basically it.
Dragon gonna be started up here, but I don't think they want to take that. TensorFlow is in the area, and we'll have TP.
Too. It might just have to be the early Morellos from TensorFlow, actually, if they want to win this mid game.
Yeah, I think honestly, second item Morellos is probably gonna be the call, especially just with how many kills and farm Kanye has gotten.
Yeah. 500 gold up on the Mordekaiser, opting for the Protobelt first item on the Mord mid. Interesting to say the least.
I don't think that's the wrong call for mid lane Mordekaiser, because that just gives you the split push, or not the split push, the wave control.
Yeah.
You just use the Protobelt to get the wave pushed, and that is how you counteract the fact that you can't interact with the wave as much.
Yeah. Top lane freeze is easier than mid lane freeze, I'll give it that.
Yeah, I like Protobelt on the mid lane Mordekaiser a lot more than I like it on the top lane Mordekaiser.
Meanwhile, Ocean Dragon has spawned. No Ocean Soul for the Mundo, but if he's able to get the Drake, he will definitely like that one.
Yeah, unfortunate Drakes actually here. The Mountain and the Ocean being the two that we're seeing already, meaning that the Souls are not going to be Mundo favored.
I mean, Cloud Soul's not bad on Mundo, I don't think.
No, Cloud Soul's fine, but it's not what you really want.
Yeah, Sway getting grass procs though. Feels nice. Here comes Sugoi Joy. He's very low. Mundo on the side though with the sadism. Let's Bounce gonna be popped. Flash already used from Rasta. Maybe Luxie here. Omar Little will go down into the blocks. Here comes Azir with the ult, but he ends up going into the realm of death. Melo Luxie picks up the kill onto the Ashes. Kanye picks up the Zac. That was a great realm of death to stop from getting yeeted by the Emperor's Divide. Well done from Melo Luxie.
Yeah, not just that, but also a great counter engage from Sugoi Joy, baiting out the engage from Rasta Dread, and then ulting, hitting the Zonias, and letting his team follow up as Kanye and Mabaloxy coming in from the river just behind to really ruin the day of Kurtzors and Rasta Dread. Tensor showing up there, but not able to do a whole lot as he was just too little too late.
And that's a 3k gold lead for the Facebook Clickbaiters. Hextech Ultimatum used on Sway. He doesn't have an R-bar, but Top Notch won't be able to get the kill. Regardless. Nice pull. TensorFlow's got to be very careful now. Mayweluxy has a kill. And we're little looking for the gank mid.
Yeah, Sway struggling a little bit there. Was a bit of an aggressive Hextech there, but doesn't matter now.
Well, rip Sway. Omar's here, but he's like, sorry, Nar. It's Narnia business.
Oh my god. End me. Just they're trying to use mid, and this should bring Kanye to the mid lane there. Yeah, we'll make him show up there. And right now, this is honestly, I think, the first game we've seen Kanye really have a solid advantage on Omar Little here.
Yeah, this
both game 1 and game 2, Omar was just very much in control between levels and pressure on the map, but Kanye has been on top of it this game.
I think what's really slowed down Omar Little is that, like, he hasn't been able to get as many ganks off as I think you typically want on Zac, just due to the safety of the Caitlyn Morgana. It feels like you don't want to gank that lane, and it feels like you don't want to gank mid after Mayweluxy has level 6, so it's tough for the Zac. He's gonna have to be more teamfight oriented, but I think Kanye beats Zac in teamfights almost any day of the week.
Yeah, it's not just that, but also just early on, because of that freeze Hummel set up, there wasn't a way to gank bot. You know, red side Zac does want to gank from that tribe rush area, but if the lane is not pushed, there's no opportunity to do so.
That said, TensorFlow is still 2-0-1 despite this almost 4,000 gold deficit. It is a high point for this Intel squad, and he has been playing very well in these past couple games. Obviously, the previous Emperor's Divide was stopped by Realm of Death, but still definitely one of those cases where TensorFlow does have a good mind for it. We'll see if he's going to be able to do more this game.
Yeah, and it's looking really rough right now for Intel because they just don't have any winning lanes, and none of the lanes are really pushed up or gankable. So it is just Omar Little needs to find some way to make something happen. They need to get some kind of wave control or some kind of opportunity available for him. No objectives coming up anytime in the near future, but this is just looking like there's no option available for Intel in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, and with that Cloud Soul potential this game, Kanye already has a single Ocean Dragon, no soul for him, but like you're looking at 30% ultimate CDR plus the movement speed bonus on whichever team grabs that, and right now it's looking like Facebook Clickbaiters should be able to get the first 2 dragons towards that at the very least.
Yeah, the game is basically in their hands, and I think really you don't want to let this game get like super late. I think the super late game is not good, but as far as like the mid to mid-late game, honestly still favors Clickbaiters here, as this Caitlyn is going to be scary. This Mundo gonna fall off in the later portions here, but so far does have just no real healing reduction built as of yet.
Yeah, the only healing reduction right now is that Bramble Vest on the Gnar. Instead of going for the XX, I feel like XX is a little bit better, even if you're going for the tank Gnar, but that's just my opinion.
Oh.
And there's the
Force
turret.
the flash.
Yep. We're gonna try to trade the Rift Herald here. TensorFlow is around. Top Notch Noctop is all alone. I don't think, he's just gonna get out of there. So that will be a Rift Herald for Intel. They get something for that first tower, but it's might be traded
not just
for
that,
the Drake.
they're losing Dragon, yeah. And they kind of have to give this. There's no real world where they can contest this, especially because Top Notch is around. looking to go in here.
Tactical sweep not gonna connect there, but doesn't really need to. Facebook Clickbaiters pick up the Cloud Dragon. And Omar Little's also 2 levels down on Kanye, so you can't even take a 50-50. You have to win a fight before taking the objective if you're Intel Pentium kill, and right now there's just no way for them to do that until the Azir hits 2 items at the very earliest.
Yeah. And yeah, this is also just what that mid lane turns into now. We've hit the point where Mordekaiser can just QE and clear caster minions just immediately. And then with the Proto Belt, it's just so hard to keep up with this Mordekaiser's wave clear.
Yeah, 2 items on the Mord currently. He is 400 gold down, and TensorFlow is sitting on 2.1k, so should be able to, I think that's, what, 200 gold off of Morello's if he decides to go that route. I still think you go Morello's here. As much as it sucks, and it sucks so much, you just need to have a way to deal with Kanye in the mid game.
Double hit there in the burn. Gonna start hurting the Zac here. Rift Herald is still usable for Omar. I think they're going to be looking for some kind of a fight that they can win to use afterwards.
Nice Gnar from Sway.
Uh-oh.
But here comes the Hextech Ultimatum, but he's under tower. That's going to be a solo kill to Sway. Okay.
That's a major misplay there from Top Notch there. Got a little bit too close and did not respect the Gnar bar. And the stun coming through, plus the push back, there was not an opportunity to get out.
Yeah, I love how Gnar's ultimate's name's just Gnar.
Yeah, good punish by Sway, though, and that will get a lot of damage onto this tower now.
Yeah, Facebook intelling in the top lane. But,
we already made that joke.
You know what? You can do it again. Cleanse used from Kurtzaz because he doesn't want to get hit by the infected cleaver.
Uh-oh, push him out.
And Chris Valero already going to be used as the TP gets channeled. Kanye knocked up. Damage comes out from Kurtzaz. Here comes Sway alongside TensorFlow. But it's a little bit late on the TP, and Sway no longer has Mega Gnar. Will be the Rift Herald being used. Not Noculus Rift Herald, because was not Facebook using it this time around, but that will be a tower. The mid one at that. Sway, though, pulled in. Gonna leap out. 2 minutes left on the next Drake.
Omar Little actually pushing the Caitlyn out of the path of the Enchanted Crystal Arrow did actually save Homo a little bit, so that fight could have gone a lot better for Intel if that had not happened. The spell shield did come after the arrow was going to hit, so a little bit of a misplay there, but
no black shield though. TensorFlow, a shuffle. I saw it in his eyes. There was a glint in his eyes. And he will actually be going for the Leandry's second item. So there is one Grievous Wounds item against Mundo and no QSS against Mord at the moment.
Love the Azir visual update where when his ultimate is up, he has a glint in his eyes.
You can see it right there too. He wants it.
Yeah, Top Notch. Getting aggro again here.
Flash already used on the Caitlyn. And the Mord.
Sway is gnarled.
Omar Little has to flash. But here he comes with the re-engage. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, the 3-man Gnar! Back into the Shurima shuffle. Sugoi Joy very low. Will end up getting taken down low, but he won't end up falling quite yet. Camille stays alive. And the Zac in the pass of the double kill for the Mundo. It's 3 for 3. Make that a quadra for the Mundo. Holy moly.
And that just seemed like it was going to be a great fight. Sway hit an amazing Gnar ultimate, but TensorFlow not able to burn through this Mundo. And we talked about how it is such a rough matchup for Azir to deal with. Kanye just pulling through and out DPSing everybody here while tanking everything up at the same time. This is Kanye's game.
Yeah, and he's gonna look not westward, but eastward for the next dragon. This will be soul point for the Facebook clickbaiters.
Another Cloud Dragon, and getting these ultimates off cooldown as quickly as possible. They don't want this fight, though.
Oh, but here comes over Little. Kanye, he's down! Kanye's down, and the shutdown goes to the Azir. The pull from the Mundo. Not gonna happen. Maluxi gets the kill on the Curse as he pops the Zony's Hourglass, but he's not long for the world. TensorFlow with the double kill. It will be 2 for 1. Intel not out of this one quite yet, as TensorFlow is an extreme master on the Azir.
And that just, I don't understand what the reasoning was behind taking that fight there. They tried to really hard engage on that Kanye flashing forward and trying to get Kurtzors, but it's just, you know, the rest of the team is coming. If one person is there, you know they all are, because they all died at about the same time. And it was just such a lack of understanding of where the rest of the team was going to be. And that is 900 gold. Into the Azir pocket, on top of a bunch of other kills, I believe, as well. So this is the tempo switch that Intel has been waiting for.
Yeah, and TensorFlow, yeah, puts up the tower. Top Notch doesn't want to dive that.
Does have the tower here, but very low.
Yeah, it's just gonna hit the tower. Mundo on the side though.
Good dodge.
Nice dodge. Kanye's here. Has the sadism. Tensor can shuffle in. Sadism pops. That's all they really need. Oh, but here comes the depth charge in the Ashol. Maywaloxi will end up taking Kurtzors into Realm of Death. Will end up cleansing, but that doesn't keep you out of the round. Maywaloxi picks up the kill in the 1v3. Now looking for Omar Little as well. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, Truman Shuffle already used. Double kill for the Mordekaisers. The Azir gets shut down. That is 500 gold in the pocket. Oh, Top Notch, not top. And yeah, that's why you don't go for the 1v3 on the Mordekaiser, and that's why you buy QSS, folks.
That's why you buy QSS, and the Mundo is why you buy Executioner's Calling, and we have not seen either of them on this Ashe. Going for the Zeal instead, and I don't think that is the correct call in this scenario, as the 80 carry down, TensorFlow down, that is the call for the Baron now. There is no opportunity to really try and fight this, as Sway and Rostadred are the only two that will get in range of this. But free Baron now coming through after 2 fights that looked great across the map.
Yep, and this is looking very difficult for the Intel Pentium kill squad. 27 minutes in, they're down 6,000 gold.
Cloud Soul is in 2 minutes now, so this is really kind of just with that Baron on and Cloud Soul available, that should really kind of be the focus now for Facebook. They need to get in on that area, get the vision down now, and just completely control that area and force them to fight with the Baron buff active.
Yeah, and if we take a look at the gold here, it's still 1.6k lead for TensorFlow over the Mordekaiser, but that's pretty much the only bright spot. And he goes for the Void Stuff before the Morellos. Still, 1 Grievous Wounds item and no QSS on the Ashe. I think this might be a death by shopkeeper for this mid-game for Intel Pentium kill.
Smiling.
LS is molding right now.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that Top Notch is up here for a couple reasons.
And he's out. Check Crystalera though. There's the stun. Hextech ultimatum to try to get something out, but the shutdown goes to the Gnar.
Yeah, Gnar gets the shutdown. Yeah, I did not care for Top Notch being up there alone, as there was no teleport. The dragon was gonna be coming up fairly soon, and that is not when you want to be up there. If you're up there and you're expecting everybody to come and get you while your team gets Cloud Soul, sure, love that. But with no teleport available, it is so risky to be up there, and that timing was not good.
28 seconds left for this soul. Has to be fought by Intel Pentium kill. They lose this fight, they lose the game, but if they lose the dragon, they also lose the game.
I think they also just want to fight this because there's not going to be a Camille showing up. They can 5v4 this.
TensorFlow has the Emperor's Divide.
Sugorojoy also went back, so there is not a way for Clickbaiters to get into this.
They're not taking the fight before the dragon, though. This is a mistake. You can't take a 50-50 when you're down 2 levels.
Yeah, this could end badly. They need to force the fight before it actually happens. They're backing off.
And, that might just be the Drake going over. TensorFlow rooted up, chunked out. Here comes Omar Little, but top-notch lock top's already here. Look for the backline dive. It will go over to the Mundo. That's going to be a Cloud Soul. Azir picks up a kill, but it will be 1-for-1. Holy moly. On to Omar Little. The flash, the root lands, and Rasta Dread NA won't be long for the world. The Pearl from the Mordekaiser. Kurtzor, the next one to fall. Double kill for the Mordekaiser, and it's a 3-4-1, and the soul goes to Facebook Clickbaiters. This might be game here.
I don't think it's going to be game yet. They still got to burn through this Azir and this Gnar, but it is definitely not looking great here as the base will be cracked. Kanye able to just stand there and tank forever. Hold on now.
Oh, here comes Sway. He's trying to look for the Gnar ult. We'll get a 2-man stun. Rooted up and goodbye. He's able to get one onto the Morgana. Ace in the hole will be popped, but here comes Kanye out of TensorFlow, and you can't peel the Mundo. Rasta Dread gets a root down, but Kanye isn't the sadism. He's able to heal. He's able to tank. He will end up falling. A 2-for-2, but that is the base cracked.
Base is cracked, but the inhibitor's still available here, so not going down just yet. Homo now being a little bit too aggro here.
Oh, the stretching strikes lands.
Did not have a second target. Yeah, and Ross Dread not able to get in range to follow up and hit that Caitlyn, but yeah, so actually keeping the inhibitor up here. So while they did lose a lot of people in that fight, keeping the inhibitor up is very good, especially because there will be a Baron in 1:34, and they want to have that available so they're not trying to counteract that push in the bot side.
1:30 left on Baron as well. This is... oh boy. Are we gonna go to Elder this game? Are we actually gonna go to Elder this game? TensorFlow building the decap. There's still no Morellos and still no QSS. Someone needs to get XX, and Ash needs a QSS. The pickaxe does not build into QSS.
On the line. Tell him to buy a Morello's stat. This is so frustrating.
Finally gets an XX, but that's still not a QSS. Omar Little though, on his top-notch knock top.
Yeah, I wouldn't have even minded just the Morellos coming through for Tensor and just focusing on the QSS for the Ashe there.
Oh so boy.
No fighting here. Red buff. Gotta be taken now for Omar Little, so not able to get it on to Kurtzor's here.
Unfortunate. Great, I'm Caitlyn to 2-item Ashe as well.
Homo taking a lot of damage in that, and only has the lifesteal from runes and Dorans. And they're really trying to pressure. They're playing this vision game as best they can, trying to make sure they have control of this Baron area, and that is the correct call to make here. Should send somebody bot side. Every team has 2 teleports available, so splitting up here, sending either that ward or that Camille to that bottom side there to 1v1, I think is the call you need to make here. Setting up this ARAM is not ideal.
And it's the NARAM. 2 minutes, 10 seconds on Elder as well.
Yeah, this ARAM actually favors Intel because the Zac can set up on the side here, but not if he's getting caught out.
In fact, Hasten Hall goes down. Sway pulled in by the Mordekaiser.
No.
Oh no, Rasta, you hit the wall. You're gonna go down, and Homo picks up the kill.
Azir gets some damage down, and the shutdown lands onto the Caitlyn. The Azir not able to get the ult into the tower though, but Gnar was able to get the knockback. Omar Little down low, so is Sway, but there's no damage. There's nothing for Intel left. It's the ace for one, and Facebook Clickbaiters will end up taking the series 2-1 in the week 1 victory.
And that was such a close fight. It almost turned around there. It looked like it was going to work out because Homo got caught out, but there was not enough damage to burn through this Mundo. Once again, not enough heal burn coming through, and Tensor going down meant that the fight was not going to work out. Top Notch having to flash out of the fountain, but you don't care. You're taking the Nexus, you're taking the series, and that is now the first week 1-0 for Facebook Clickbaiters. Yeah,
that really impressive win there in game number 3. Obviously, game number 1 I think was the closest of the series. TensorFlow, though, before we start talking about Facebook Clickbaiters here, TensorFlow, like, still, like, despite that last ultimate being a swing and a miss, you could feel, like, how much mastery this guy has over the mid lane. And that's just a really high point for the Intel Pentium kill squad. Just to touch on before we move into the Facebook Clickbaiters team. Kanye, what was that game? That was...
We had not seen really much from Kanye going into this last game. It'd been 2 games of just being behind the ball with Omar Little, and Kanye 2048, just big last game as he just turned into this powerhouse that was not going to get chewed through. You could see the items, just having the jungle, the Cinderhawk, Spirit Visage, Warmogs, Deadmans, and a Warded Spell. There was nothing that was going to eat through him unless you turned off that healing, and nobody really got enough.
Yeah, and I think LS Molding, definitely the shopkeeper, definitely having a little bit of revenge here somewhere, but like I think you gotta think about what the strong points of the enemy team is sooner than that, especially with just Meiwaluxi on this Mordekaiser as well did very well.
Yes.
Just super commendable, dealing with the Azir lane insanely well, just absorbing the pressure, and on top of that, just phenomenal ults. Still, that first ult where he dodged the Emperor's Divide by ulting the Ashe was just insane.
Yeah, it's important to note that TensorFlow's advantages that he was really able to get were not because of beating Meiwaluxi, because Meiwaluxi was just farming and playing that lane safe through and through. It was always these roams to the bot side that really got TensorFlow ahead, but Meiwaluxi always able to follow up, except for that first one there. Always there to follow, always there to take somebody out of the fight, and always won those 1v1s in the Death Realm. So big props to Meiwaluxi there as well. Top Notch, obviously, just a huge split push threat. Sway only had 1 or 2 good Gnar ultimates in this game, and that's basically because Top Notch was just dominating that top side, especially when Sway would go bot and just stay bot side there.
Yeah, and we're going to take a quick break before we get some interviews down in here, where it's either going to be the captain or jungler, I believe, of the Facebook team here. So don't want to miss that. We'll be back in a minute, and we will see you then. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Corporate Esports Association Week 1 game between the Facebook Clickbaiters and the Intel Pentium kills. My name is PhiNick, joined on the desk side by Thousand Eyes, and we have for you an interview with Kanye 2048, the jungler for the Facebook Clickbaiters. How are you feeling after that 2-1 series victory?
Dude, so excited. I was getting nervous there. It was a very, very great set. Just happy to play with everybody.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, the company division you work for in Facebook, and maybe a little bit about your charity, if you would be so kind.
Yeah, so I work at Facebook on Oculus, so working on stuff related to the new Oculus stuff. If you've seen videos recently on the Oculus 2. And yeah, I've been doing the corporate esports league for the past like 3 years, and I've made so many friends at my company through it. I've loved every game I have played. It's been awesome.
All right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Just yeah, thank you guys for casting. I was like, we tuned in between the matches, and it was super hype. So I was super happy to hear the casting.
We're happy to cast for you. So can you tell us a little bit about the charity you guys represent, Medicine Sans Frontier, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, I don't know too much about. I do not recall the specifics about the charity exactly. I think someone else picked it. I apologize.
No problem. So questions about the game then, Thousand. What you got?
Let's see. What exactly made you guys want to take that Mundo in the last game there?
Yeah, I was feeling it. Okay, so everyone was like, I think there were some doubters. We weren't too sure about the Mundo pick, but I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna do it. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the Mundo. This is a good Mundo game. I think definitely. I have to thank my teammates because the early game is rough with the Mundo because you got to take some time to get off the ground. So I think they did really well. It's like not. I was just hoping everyone didn't die in that early game because that Zach was really good.
Yeah.
How did you feel when they picked the Azir into the Mundo there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a bit nervous. I was so glad there was no Morello. That was like mid game. I was very concerned about. I don't know. I thought I was gonna start falling off eventually. Like I think the Gnar went Bramble Vest into like Thorn Mail, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I won't hit him. And then it wasn't too bad, but it was a good set.
Yeah. Was there anybody in particular that you were looking to gank for or gank against, or like any player that you were really scared of popping off on the enemy team?
Oh yeah, I mean the mid, obviously. I think we were terrified. I just kept saying like, hey, all right, just chill mid. I don't care if you don't get any kills, we're just looking not to die. So that second game, that was just terrifying. But like just absolutely popped off on us. So we were just trying to make sure we played around that.
Yeah, and kind of on top of that, right? Like we looking at the previous games in the series, obviously, like game number 2 was definitely one of those games where it feels bad because you kind of got steamrolled. So how did you guys reset mentally for this game number 3 going into it, and eventually for the victory?
Yeah, I think we all were a little sad. Last week we also got pretty steamrolled. So our we learned some resilience last week as a team. So we came this week, and I think the first win helped us. So we feeling ourselves a little bit, but yeah, getting crushed that second game did not do good for our mental. But I think people on our team had some pretty good ideas for like picks and bans, and we I think getting rid of like the Orion really helped a lot because that was just terrifying. It's just so gosh darn fast. It was crazy. Like, I just couldn't get away.
Yeah. For the last game there, the letting the Azir through and kind of putting the Mordekaiser in the mid, what kind of made you want to like swap that Mordekaiser from the top side there into the mid lane?
Yeah, so he actually was just like, I'm gonna go Mordekaiser mid. He just wanted to. He was like, I'm gonna do it. I got this. And I was a bit concerned. I mean, especially after the previous game, I think. But we believed in him. We trusted in him. As they trusted in the Mundo. I think it all paid off in the end.
So, final question before you go. Do you have anyone that you want to shout out? Anything to say to the other team or teams? Non-toxic, of course.
Yeah, just good games, and thanks to Ziz for like organizing all this on the Facebook side. He like called me to wake me up this morning just in case I wasn't awake, and he definitely keeps us all getting to these events. So shout out there.
All right, thank you for your time, and thank you everyone for watching today's broadcast. We will be back next week, same time, same place, on the Corporate Esports Association LoL Twitch channel. From everyone here, admins, production crew, the game leads for League of Legends, and everyone in between, my name is PhiNick.
My name is Thousand Eyes.
And we will see you next week, same time, same place.